Okay, 26 minutes up to 4 p.m. in Liberia. Since last week, Wednesday, 4:30, 4 p.m., 4ish around that time is the time Liberians gather around their radios the most all across the country to listen to progressive talent reports being released by the National Elections Commission. Remember, exactly 1 week ago, just last week, Tuesday, the most talked about October 10th, arrived. That was the day. October 10th was last week, Tuesday. We then were able to go to the polls all across the country to vote president, vice president, and the president on the same ticket. So if you hear me say to vote for a president and a vice president, it's because your vote that you did cast for your presidential candidate, you did see alongside that candidate their running mate. So you did vote for a president and a vice president. So if your presidential candidate was able to garner over 1 million votes, that means their vice presidential candidate as well garnered the same amount of votes as well. So Liberians did go to the polls to vote for president and vice president, 15 senators in the 15 counties that make up Liberia, and 73 representatives as well. There will be others who will be returning. There would be others who will be re-elected. There will be others who will be elected for the first time. So the Senate has resumed, the Senate has reconvened, but there would be some senators who will not be returning. And there will be new ones who will be joining them to make up the 54th legislature. Also in the House of Representatives, there will be others who will be returning, going back in the chambers of the House of Representatives. But there will be others who have to say goodbye to you, Capitol Hill. It's time for me to go. I've been here since 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023. It's time for me to go. And whether or not in the presidential race as well, we'll see incumbent President George Manuel Weah retaining his seat for another 6-year mandate, or there will be a new president that's inaugurated in January of 2024. Well, the presidential race is the one everybody's got their eyes and ears glued and pinned to, and I will have our team already at the National Elections Commission, and they are definitely going to be bringing us the latest updates. And at 4:30, because NEC again has re-emphasized on the whole 4:30 thing, that today will be today, if we are going to hold them true to their word now, because since last week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and today, Tuesday, they've not been, starting on the 4:30 time that they told us they would have started. So whether or not today is going to be a different case as well, we don't want to miss anything. We don't want to blink. So we are definitely going to be live there at the National Elections Commission to bring you the information that you want to know, the information, that you need to know. The way the whole thing looking now, we do have a lot of candidates that have been declared winners in a legislative race, but they can celebrate, where your success is tied to another's. You and somebody, your success start together. So when your own case happens first and you get good result, you can celebrate because your leader's position is not certain, it's not sure. So if you start celebrating now, then it will look different, it will look ugly. So for those who are on the tickets of the Unity Party or the CDC and they've won their respective legislative seats, they're not really able to celebrate like the way they want to do. They can go wild and start jumping up and down and doing all kinds of things because the presidential race is far from being called. It's far from being over. So they have to wait until that can be decided and see what next to do and how to celebrate. So whoever it is you're listening to us from across Liberia, I'd love to say good afternoon to you. My name is Diamond Slanger. On behalf of the entire production team, this is the Spoon Network's coverage of elections 2023 in Liberia. And we've dubbed this coverage coverage, the 2023 elections updates 360. So it's 360 because we'll be taking you all across the country as we've been doing. And before we cross over to the National Elections Commission, we'll go over the numbers that were released yesterday. We'll do the mathematical calculation as well to see whether or not has been claimed by the two major political parties in the country, the CDC and the UP. They all started off by claiming first round victory. Whether or not there's going to be a first round victory mathematically, what needs to be done once there is a runoff announced by the NEC today, what moves need to be made. This is now a game of chess and a game of chicken. You blink, you out. This one is that Liberian song that says simple mistake, you OUT. Second round is about simple majority. It's no longer percentage based, but rather simple majority. So when you make mistake in the second round, c'est finito, it's finished. All right. But we'll be cutting across the country to speak to our correspondents as well, to let us know what's happening in the respective counties making up Liberia. How, eager to hear these results Liberians are, not just in Montserrat County, but all the way in Maryland, not just in Maryland, but all the way in Lofa, not just in Lofa, but in Sino, Grand Cru, Grand Gile, in River G, Margibi, and the rest of the counties that make up Liberia. So, folks, you are definitely welcome wherever it is you're listening to us from, whether on Super 95.5, Spoon 107.5, or Fabric 101.1 FM. We're also live on Premium 88.7. That's Trust 88.7 FM in Bombing County. Premium FM is also taking us live there in Bong County and the rest of other stations, including Radio BKS in Butwo and Nimba County. All right, folks, so we'll take a short musical break. When we get back, we'll be going over the numbers that were released by the National Elections Commission chairperson, Madam Deviata Brown-Lassana, as well as doing the mathematical calculations, whether or not there's going to be a second round, whether a runoff is going to be announced today by the chairperson of the National Elections Commission, or there's going to be a winner declared today. Either or, something must happen today. If the NEC tells us that the 7.18% are remaining, they can get all today, they will have to come back tomorrow. Either or, we'll still come back tomorrow. If the NEC tells us that, look, 100% of the polling places across the country have been tallied and reported, and hence they're reporting on the 100%, that is, the covering is 7.18 today, we'll know, because the chairperson is either going to declare one candidate a winner, or say, based on the fact that either or none of the candidates could have gotten the 50 plus 1, that's the 50% plus 1 vote, a runoff will be declared, and then you'll be looking at November. You have approximately 2 weeks thereabout to do your campaigning, and we'll go for a runoff. Whichever way it swings today, we'll be hearing from the NEC. But let's go for this short break. When we get back, we'll be speaking to our county correspondents to let us know the atmosphere in those various counties. I did see the LNP do a little bit of show of force, they put one water truck outside, struggling to claim the whole and one pickup behind and another pickup in front, patrolling the principal streets of the country. That's good to let us know that we have security in the country and we need them present everywhere. We heard a lot of different information yesterday. Oh, people are running at us, and what else? People running so, and all of those things. I remember the very first day after election on the 11th of October, people started calling me, oh, Diamond, we heard that there is a curfew in the country, and different kind of false information being disseminated across the country. So the LMP, the Joint Security, issued a press statement and said, well, those spreading fake news, those trying to cause, instability in the country, they'll face the full weight of the law. Probably that is the reason I did see that one truck, cruising along the Tottenham Boulevard with another police pickup and another one ahead of it, probably they were just going on a normal, let go walk up or let go drive about thing, stuff like that. Yeah, but I did see that. And I'll be calling Moses Carter though. Probably it was a coincidence that they had a 3-car convoy, but I'll be calling him to let us know whether that was a show of force. The LMP is saying, look, we just passing around the layer, no say we yeah, just passing the layer, no we. But we'll talk about all that right after this break. Don't go away. Okay, folks, welcome back. This is Elections Update 360 here on the Spoon Network. And as I promised you, we're going to have the police spokesperson on the line, Moses Never Walk Alone Carter, Unit 122. He's on the line. Good afternoon to you, Mr. Carter. Good afternoon.
Yeah, Damo, how are you?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you as well?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Damo, everything is going good.
All right. So, Mr. Carter, is there a curfew in the country?
There's no reason for a curfew to be imposed. So you can erase the idea of a curfew.
Okay. There is no curfew. Good. So our people can hear it. Did you get any reports of disturbances down Waterside yesterday that your officers had to respond to?
There were unscrupulous elements who chose to carry misinformation, disinformation as a way of, carrying on acts of thievery. But as a result, the Joint Security are very proactive in that process.
Mr. Carter, I that one part you have to break it down for us because our money, our partner, everybody else listening.
What that means is that there were some people who went, the people coming across trouble, they both firing the other people. That means they just created a situation to say the country is getting into disarray. And all of that was intended to create a situation of panic so that they can carry out acts of stealing. And our officers responded and we provided the necessary information and clarity, and that allayed the fears of the citizens.
Was there any arrest made?
Absolutely not.
All right, let's talk about today. I did see people get confused whether it's hot water truck or cold water truck or pressurized water truck. Either way you would describe what it is to us, but we call it in Liberia the hot water truck, and two other police vehicles cruising the principal streets on the Totman Boulevard here. Was that a minimum show of force or a regular patrol?
Security is being alert. So what you see is basically to ensure that we are alert of whatever that's going to happen, because with all the misinformation and disinformation, we have to be able to be alert to respond to any situation.
Okay. Any other thing you want to say before we let go of you, just to get clarity?
Liberians must desist. In general, we all must desist from spreading falsehoods and misinformation or disinformation. The peace of this country is in all of our hands. Whatever that happens here today, if the peace of this country is in disarray, it will affect all of us. So we urge everyone to comport themselves in the best possible manner.
This might, and I use the word might, be the final day for the announcement of the provisional or progressive tally reports from across the country. How prepared is the LNP for just in case there's any eruption, any sort of disturbances in the country today?
Well, I can tell you that the Joint Security is alert, and we are prepared to respond to any situation.
Okay, Mr. Carter, thank you so much.
Thank you, Damo, and thanks for the good job that you guys continue to do. But let's refrain from providing information that will have the proclivity of causing.
Are you making a claim against the Spoon Network that we're providing information that has the propensity? Is that what you're saying, Mr. Carter?
I just told you, thank you for the good job that you do. Maybe you just forgot about the good job part.
No, I got the good job part. You're not going to use the sandwich method on us, Mr. Carter, to give us a compliment and say something else. So I got that part, and I'm asking you on the last part. Is that a claim that you're making that we provide?
I'm saying to you, that means let us. That means I'm not saying Spoon, but I'm saying us. That is you, the security, and everyone. That's English I'm speaking to you, Damo.
I need a clarity, sir.
All of us. Yeah, so don't put words in my mouth.
Okay, Mr. Carter.
Let, which means let us. All right?
All right,
we all have a responsibility to play in the peace, in protecting the peace of this country.
All right, sir. And we've been doing just that by providing concise and factual
information. I acknowledge that. I said thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate that.
You're most welcome. Thank you.
All right. So there you have it. The police spokesperson Moses Carter, they're giving clarity, to Liberians. Did see the police truck, whether water, cold water or hot water, plus two other police pickups making a tour on the Totman Boulevard. He just said it's a way of saying that they are alert and they are up to the tax just in case. And again, today might be the final day. I'm not saying it is going to be, but we have 7.18% of the total number of polling places across the country to be provided or released, results to be released today in the country. Whether the National Elections Commission is going to cover up the entire 7.18%, that is left remains to be seen today. But as it stands, where are we in this entire releasing of the progressive tally results across the country? So let's take you back to figures, numbers that were released by the National Elections Commission on yesterday. The presidential progressive tally reports were released by the chairperson of the National Elections Commission, Madam Deviata Brown Lasana. And according to the NEC's website, and that's where I'm reading from in real time. I'm going to share that on the screen for everybody else watching. And for those of you listening via your radio all across the country, we are definitely going to read out those numbers for you as they were released by the National Elections Commission on yesterday. We're looking at time. Yes, time will permit us a minute or two to cut across the country to speak to some of our correspondents to bring us up to speed, give us a few of situations and atmospheres across the various counties in Liberia. So these are the numbers as they were released by the National Elections Commission on yesterday. It says Republic of Liberia, National Elections Commission 2023 elections results portal. There you come to the various figures. There we come to the national tally. Preliminary results as of October 16th, 2023 at 3:58 p.m. Data entry progress 92.82% of the total number of polling places across the country, polling places across the country reported. The NEC has said that they have received results from 5,467 polling places out of the 5,890 polling places across the country. So there again, you go to your calculator on your button phone like mine, and you type 5,890 minus 5,467. I know many of the mathematicians are already done with that. We left with 423 polling places across the country to report. Now, of the total votes tallied and reported, that is valid plus invalid votes, you have the number of 1,818,540 votes, constituting 73.58% of the total votes anticipated or projected across the country. Now, in this, you have, we're going now to the president and the vice president results 2023. You have Boyka Joseph N, Unity Party, accumulating 748,463 votes, comprising or constituting 43.70% of the total number of valid votes tallied and reported from the 5,467 polling places across the country. Candidate Wia George Mane, CDC, 747,578 votes, constituting 43.65%. Appeton Edward Jr. of the GDM, 37,065 votes, constituting 2.16%, and Kamara Lucinin Senior of ARCOP, the All Liberian Coalition Party, with 34,317, constituting 2%. And you have Cummins Alexander B of the CPP with 27,291, constituting 1.59%. Gonglo Tewan Say LPP, 25,518 votes, constituting 1.49. So that's five. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I just read to you the top 6 candidates. Now, Is there going to be a runoff announced by the NEC today? Taking into consideration, for a candidate to win first round of elections in Liberia, presidential elections, which is percentage based, meaning you must get 50% of the total number of valid votes counted or cast and tallied in the country, plus one vote. It is not 50% of the total number of registered voters across the country. Get that. Because even though we have over 2 million registered voters in the country, when you look at the current figures as released by the NEC, with 92.82% of the total number of polling places across the country reporting, we have a little over 1,818,540. That's valid and invalid. So whereas you have the invalid votes over 80,000 thereabout, deduct that number, we are still not going to reach the total number of registered voters across the country. But this number is very high. It projects and tells you that there was a high voter turnout. So back to what I was saying. So example, if we have 500,000 registered voters in the country and 300,000 registered voters went to the polls and 200,000 decided to abstain, the winner is going to be declared from the total number of valid votes from the 300,000 voters who turned up. It is not from the total number of registered voters in the country. So you get that. That is why your vote is very important. That is the reason your one vote is very important. Because if you decide to sit and say, oh, I will not go vote, 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 and then those who decide to vote go and vote and make a decision, it is going to affect you for 6 to 9 years, depending whether it's a president, a representative, or a senator. That is why your vote is important. But let's go back to the maths. With the top 2 candidates in the country still below the 45% mark, and you have only 7.18% of the votes remaining, is it possible? Ask yourself that question. Is it possible for one of the top 2 to clear the entire 7.18% that is remaining? The answer is no. No matter how much you are a die-hard partisan of either of the 2 parties, you cannot change the inevitable. You can't change what is there, what is really there. Is it possible that either JMB or GMW is going to take the remaining 7.8% of the votes? It's not possible. It is not possible. You have Lucini Camara of ARCO taking a own point from there. You have Apeton the Wonder Boy taking a own percentage from there. You have Tewanse Gonglo taking a own percentage from there. You get Madame Benu Kroma taking a own percentage from there. You get Theodore and Turner and the rest of the guys taking a percentage from there, including Sheikh Kuyate. All of them taking a lay point from there. Give or take. I'm not a maths guy. I'm not a statistician, but it's about common logic and sense. And it's about computing. So if you do that and you say the rest of the 18 candidates are going to take at least 2% out of the remaining 7.18%, you'll be left with 5.18%. Get a 5.18% to either of the 2 top candidates. It still cannot take them to 50% plus 1. And if they have to share the remaining 5, hypothetically, one will take some, the other will take some, and it still cannot take them to the 50% plus 1 mark. So if you do your mathematics and your logical conclusion and all of that, is there a second round? And if there will be a second round, what is going to happen in the runoff? What should be done? Everybody knows a runoff is where deals are made, bigger deals are made. Because now it is more important that you get allies. And you just don't get allies by the number, you get meaningful allies. That is where you look for who is going to give you the numbers to win. You make decisions, you calculate, you do political permutations. You say, okay, if I go with A, what does A want? Okay, A wants ministry A, B, and C. Okay, A want ambassadorial position A, B, and C. Is this something we can do? That is where you make deals. That is where you make concessions. That is where you make friends. And that is where you make enemies. Because not everybody is going to be happy with alliances that you make. But in this game of numbers, you need those numbers. You need those numbers. So, looking at what as we are waiting on the NEC to announce today, again, do your own maths. Ask yourself the simple question: can the 7.18% go to my candidate alone? If you can answer that question, then you ask yourself, what percentage is going to go to my candidate? And if that percentage goes to my candidate with what they currently have, can this take them over the line, the 50% plus one vote? If you can logically answer that question as per all of the explanation we've given you, then you can decide for yourself as we await the NEC to give us the final announcement whether or not there is going to be a runoff. And those parties that are concerned, I'm sure they already started doing their negotiations as of last week to see who are those they can bring to their side and where they can concentrate, where they think they can improve, and where they need to double up as well. But talking about doubling up, let's cut across the country quickly and speak to some of our county correspondents. Remember, some winners have been announced, by the National Elections Commission in the legislative race across the country. Counties have produced new representatives. Others have decided to retain their old representatives and give them another chance. Others have decided that, look, it's time for you to pack your bags and go. But let's cut across the country. We'll begin with Bong County and see if we can speak to Kongwe Bokokoli, but we want to go to Bong. I thought we could do it in alphabetical order, but our Bombing County correspondent is not faring so well. We wish him speedy recovery. That's you, Aaron Kume. But let's go to Bong County and speak to Kongwe Bokokoli, who's our man there in Bong, to let us know what's the atmosphere like in Bong County as Johnny Way is in a very, very commanding lead there in Bong County in the senatorial race in that county, I should say, not a country, in that county. And once we get Kongwa on the line, he's going to tell us Bong has also produced some new representatives, and they decided to retain one or two of the old boys to go back there in the 54th legislature and do their bidding. Let's see if we can get Kongwa on the line. If we cannot get Kongwa on the line, we'll leave Bong and go to Nimba County. We'll leave Bong and go to Nimba once we're not getting Kongwe. But remember, we'll keep our eyes peeled on the headquarters of the National Elections Commission as well to make sure once they decide to go live or once they start to go live with that press conference, we are going to cross over. So we cannot get Kongwe. Let's go to Nimba and see if we can talk to Christopher Fan, who's our man in Nimba County for us as well. We'll crisscross the various counties until we get the green light from our team at the NEC, and we'll bring you this all-important press conference from the headquarters of the National Elections Commission. Once again, this is the Spoon Network's coverage of the 2023 general and presidential elections in our country. We've dubbed this 2023 Elections Updates 360. Good afternoon to you, Christopher. How are you?
I'm okay, Tamo. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. From all indications, District 7 has got a new lawmaker there in Nimba County.
Yes, so District number 7 have finally gotten a new lawmaker. A lawmaker was announced yesterday, and since then, the district have been celebrating, and they are also been celebrating the new bridge that was constructed by Honorable Musa Asambe. And as you may be aware, yesterday, before prior to the start of the campaign, Honorable Musa Asambe promised the people of Yab Bay to be specific Bay and Dway that after he has been pronounced representative. The Yah River Bridge will be constructed and will be dedicated to the people. So yesterday, about 50% when I visited the scene, about 50% of the bridge I then lay out. And so today, it probably might be like 75%.
So who's that new lawmaker in district number 7 that has unseated the outgoing lawmaker, former representative now, Roger Doma?
It is the CPP chairman, Honorable Musa Hassan Belete.
So Musa Hassan Belete won his seat in district 7, and his CPP stand-up bearer is still struggling behind Edward Appleton.
Sure. So that's how so many people got confused because the chairman was elected, but not too. Too many people were seen to be in favor of his candidate.
Okay, is he in the district as of now?
No, currently he left the district yesterday. He went to town. He only came to present the bridge to the people of Bay. But according to him, on the 15th, there will be the official program that is that will be planned for the dedication of the bridge.
What has the outgoing, not the defeated lawmaker of District 7 said, Roger Doma?
Well, Roger this morning on his official Facebook page, he congratulated on Musa Hassan Belete. He said what he needs is peace, and Musa should take care of the district.
Oh, he did
but
district
also, but he also outlined doing his tenure, doing his representative tenure. He was in court and he spent like 6 months in court. So with that, it also went against him of not doing a lot more in the district for the people of district number 7.
The issue that kept him in court, was it district related or personal?
No, it was district related because when he won the case in when he won the election in 2017, he was taken to court by his the predecessor on Evan Kwa. So that case spent like 6 months in court, and he later on won the case.
So 6 months out of 5 years and 6 months. So that the reason there, he didn't do anything.
Yeah. So some of the reasons that was some of the reasons he around.
Okay.
He was in court and he spent a lot of his resources in court. So as such, he was unable to meet the need of the citizens of district number 7.
Let's talk about other districts there in Nimba County. Run us through the list of winners as announced by the NEC for Nimba County from District 1. As we've already covered District 7, we can skip District 7 and give us the list for the other districts as well.
Well, so District number 1 is Saint Nikuma Brown. He been contesting the district as this independent candidate. Saint Brown was the former lawmaker. He won in 2020 when Senator Jeremiah Poon left the seat and went to the Senate. So he contested in the by-election, and he was able to be successful. And the next one is former journalist Nyan Plomo Jr. Senior. Nyan Plomo Senior was one time a manager of Radio Kekema in Nimba, and he was the most. He was the producer of the most famous Radio RK FM breakfast show. He contested twice, and this time around, he was able to succeed in district number 2.
District number 2 covers San Nicole as well.
Yeah, so the incumbent was Prince Topa, who was contesting on the CNC ticket.
Okay.
Yeah, so in district number 3, Neka Gay was able to successfully be announced by the NEC in district number 3. So Neka is the current representative in district number 3, and he removed on Joseph Nyan Somabe, the CDC candidate in district number 3.
So just hold on a bit, Chris. Let me get something right. District number 1 retained their incumbent lawmaker, so that won't goes to them. District number 2 removed their incumbent and has replaced him with another, so that one new student.
Yeah, new student.
Then district number 3, retaining or changing.
Yeah, they change the old student and bring out new students.
So that 2 new students, 1 old student
2 new
now.
students. Yeah.
Okay,
1 old student, 2 new students.
Okay, let's go to district number 4.
District number 4 election result is still hanging because I'm told that there will be a rerun in Bio Long 2. So the student that is dead on a Gonfu Cargo who contested.
Is it the same Bio Long 2 that the ballot boxes got stolen from the chief's house?
Sure.
Okay.
So I'm told that Thursday we're going to be a rerun in our place, but it is yet to be confirmed. So we escape district number 4 and go to district number 5.
Mm-hmm.
District number 5, Samuel Gomekoga, who was the chairman of the PUP, retained his position, and so he was re-elected for the 3rd time in district number 5.
So there are two new students,
yeah,
2 old students.
2 new students, 2 old students.
Okay, go ahead.
So district number 6 also retained their lawmaker on Otoan Grika. He contested on the NDR ticket and he was retained in that district.
Okay.
So
3
old students
for the old students, 2 for the new students.
I know. So district number 7. They removed their old student and replace him with a new student on Musa Assam Benedict.
Okay.
So
the old student who said it took 6 months to be in court, so he couldn't do anything for the people in 5 years, 6 months. So that 3-3.
Then we moved to 3-3. Then we moved to district number 8. District number 8 lawmaker on Larry P. Youngquay. I think you know Larry on Larry P. Youngquay. So he was removed and he contested on the CPP ticket. He was removed and replaced by the NDR candidate on our Miana who contested against him in 2017. And he Larry on Larry P. Youngquay called for recount. And recount was conducted because they were like neck to neck. 5 percentage was like the differences during that 2017 election, and they called for recount, and the recount won him as the next representative of district number 8. So this time around, the same guy took the mantle authority for him, and he's currently the district representative of district number 8.
District number 9.
District number 9 on a time one way. I replaced the CDC lawmaker on Honorable Dr. Johnson Gueto in district number 9. So we contested as an independent candidate.
So it's 5-3 with district number 4 outstanding.
Yeah, 5-3.
So 5 new lawmakers elected in Nimba, and 3 old lawmakers retained. And if you look at that percentage, the newcomers are more than the old students there. What does this trend of electing new lawmakers to replace the old ones, what does this trend tell you of the voters' mindset there in Nimba County?
Well, the voter mind in Nimba County, some of them have been, they have been saying on the radio is that this time around, Nimba, I made a very perfect decision because if you analyze those that were sent in the house, they are independent people according to some of them. And some of them are saying that some of them will start from square zero, where they will be new student in the house, and they will not know the in and out of the House of Representatives, except for the old one that was sent, because they know the institute of the house and they know how to love it, how to find a way. So some of them will be finding their offices. Some of them will be lobbying to put them on committee, while some of them will also know how to lobby, how to find a way to get on committee.
Okay. The senatorial race there in Nimba, how is it going?
Well, the senatorial race have been won by Senator Prince Johnson for the 3rd time, 27 years now. Senator Prince Johnson will serve the people of Nimba as senator. So on his official Facebook page, one of the newcomers in Nimba that actually made headway is Honorable D. Tuayen. He contested in the country on an independent ticket. Honorable Nyan Tuayen seems to be one of the political heroes because Senator Prince Johnson to actually come neck to neck with Senator Prince Johnson was kind of difficult. The only person that traveled that and was successful in that was Honorable Ide White Bongolo.
who actually gave Senator Prince Johnson hard time in Nima.
Okay. All right. So Nimba County remains calm and awaiting the final results to be announced today by the National Elections Commission if the NEC is going to conclude the entire announcement for Nimba County. Thank you so much. And I can't wait to cross that Yah River Bridge because you've made a serious issue of
I
that bridge.
know. I know. I'm told that the Yah River Bridge will be dedicated November 15th. So I hope that you guys will be contacted. So you guys can also come and form part of this celebration.
I like that part. If we'll be contacted,
Yeah,
if we
because
are.
like senior Benin is talking because you like that part, because you want to come and get senior in.
All right, Chris, thank you.
You're welcome.
Christopher Farr is one of our men there in Nimba County, bringing us updates from that county. All right, so let's see if we can go to Lofa and contact Jeremiah Dobo, who's there for us in Lofa County. He's in Vonyama City, where the CDC has taken a commanding lead in the Lofa Legislative Caucus there. 3 CDC representatives, 1 CDC senator, to 2 UP representatives, and 1 independent senator as well. So Lofa legislatively is being dominated by the Coalition for Democratic Change. Let's connect now with Jeremiah. Good afternoon to you, Jeremiah. How are you?
Good afternoon, Jamal. Good afternoon to you, and good afternoon to Liberia.
What's the response from Lofians that legislatively Lofa has been conquered by the CDC?
It's so interesting, Jamal, in Lofa here. And it is like competitive. When I say competitive, that is when it comes to politics here, people all around here make sure that they affiliate themselves to every political party that they want to go to. But it's not conquered because the election was were active, and everyone was like seeking for every like little positions in out of our district and the county. So the response here is like it's not really like the people really looking at the legislative area, but their main concern is the presidency.
Okay, let's talk about the presidency. There seems to be disappointment coming from those who are supporters of the UP, either from Lofa or not from Lofa County, that Lofa didn't overwhelmingly vote for their son in Joseph Newman Boyka, with the number of votes garnered by president or candidate we are there in Lofa County. Just a correction to you, Boyka Kamara. Senator Jala is a CDC senator. That is why I said 1 CDC senator, 3 CDC representatives, and 1 independent senator in Momosaurus. Go ahead, Jeremiah.
Yeah, so that is it. And the people, they are disenchantment when it comes to citizens not really overwhelmingly voting Ambassador Joseph Numa Boakai. It is really in the county, and it is in the know when the majority of the people in Lofa have said that Lofa is for Ambassador Joseph Numa Boakai. Unlike this other elections where Ambassador George Weah were able to accede to 35,000 plus votes in this county. So it means that there are people who are in this county who loves the CDC, and they have said that you go or you come down. My party is just CDC. So more especially, you will see this coming from electoral district number 1, Foya district.
Is it the Thomas Fala effect that has turned that district into CDC blue?
We will say that way. We will say that way because since Thomas Fala started visiting Lofa County, it has been a huge one when it comes to the dominant seditions in Lofa County, specifically Foya. Of Ambassador George Mano, we are accumulating votes in Lofa here. You will count on Foya 1, and you will be next one. You'll be talking about Quadibone. So these are areas that CDC has massive control when it comes to talking to people who maybe have bigger of mind for the past time, and that they are the partisan. But right now, through the intervention of Thomas Fala and Sekou Kole from the Quadibone belt, their contribution towards the citizen when it comes to getting to the CDC has been a major one. So you see that some of the response coming from them directly. But unlike Kulaun district, you talk about Wanyama district, Zozo district, Salahi district. These are districts that have made up their mind no matter what. I mean, that you can do any other thing, specifically Wanyama and Zozo. You will do any other thing. The people here, they have said that Bucket is your church. So you go up and come down, Bucket is your church. So yes, how it look like it. And when it comes to the just ended legislative elections in Lofa, specifically where we are currently reporting from Vonjaman. There will be a tense one, a very competitive elections in Lofa this year, legislatively, when Honorable Saros, who came from the independent belt, have fought harder to make sure that the party, CDC, and other political parties to go first. You know, these have been, I mean, a huge fight when supporters of Honorable Saros have said that this time around, Saros would not support any political party, but you'll go as independent to
Is it
accumulate.
because of consistency? Let's look at the seats that have been won in Lofa. When you look at Councillor Jala, he was always present in the senatorial race there in Lofa. And when the former defense minister was unable to have taken his seat, Councillor Jala seemingly was the next in line. If you look at Momo Saras as well, he has participated in other elections there in Lofa. So can you say consistency and the lack of interest in the outgoing Senator Steve Zago, plus campaign work done by Momo, Mr. Saras there, handed him the seat?
Oh, well, when it comes to that, I will tell you, Diamond, that the people of this county, there are more of them who have expressed their interest in Momo Saros' leadership or his ambition when it comes to acceding to the Senate.
Because he was chairman of the sports committee and you won the county meet.
Yeah, so this will also, I mean, that has also been one of the major ones. And you know, now these days, the election is not like old people. You have a first-time voter who are invested into this campaign. So if you do something to impress the young people, they will come out in their number. More especially when anytime Honorable Saros hit Bonjama City, you will see young people coming around. And so this issue of Honorable Saros acceding to the Senate, one will come from the sportsmanship. I mean, his intervention into sports in Lofa County. I mean, that history where even it was part of his message and where his followers also contributed. I mean, disseminated this information to the people that Honorable Saros has been the one that makes sure that, I mean, that put Lofa first when it comes to, getting the cup. So this is also, I mean, this was also in the know. And being an independent candidate, last year he contested one time. Last year, the by-election where Honorable Jalan is now the senator. He contested. That was the first time, I mean, tasting the politics of Lofa. And he came fourth to, after Mayamun Fofana was a third, so he came fourth. So that also motivated him that coming into the race, it's my first time ever. I think the next time
Jeremiah, I'll have to interrupt you. Pardon the interruption, sir. Okay. Kindly tell us the list of lawmakers now for Lofa County.
So district number 1, we have Honorable Thomas Farah, who is a new student as well. And we have Honorable Judy Fatima. Hello. Okay. Honorable Judy Fatima Wia, who is also from District 2, and she maintained her position. And we have Honorable Momo Seva Poto from District 3, who is also a new student. And outgoing is Honorable Karen Skontu Masakwe for District 3. So District 4, we have Honorable Gilly Collins, who is also incoming, and outgoing Mayamu Fofana. And we have District 5, Honorable Agustin Cholo from the Unity Party, and District 4, Gizzy Collins from the Unity Party as well, and outgoing Councillor Biao from that district. And Senator Steven Zago is going out, and while Honorable Saros, independent candidate, is coming in. So these are our lawmakers for the next 6 and 9 years in Lofa County.
What can you say to the performance of the outgoing Senator Steve Zago in these elections?
Well, it performed, somebody says no one does more than their best. And after serving 9 years, 9 consecutive years from 2014 up to this year, he has served as senator and he did his best. But unlike everybody will not follow you, what citizens nobody have been saying throughout this campaign is that Honorable Zago is now the taste of Lofa right now. Honorable Zago is now the taste of Lofa, where you see this is what the majority are saying. Were saying at the time, Damo. So yes, so yeah, so they are saying now, Senator Zago is not the face of Lofa now. You will see uh, during the time of the campaign or before the campaign, people have said that Honorable Moses Wakoli from the CDC, Honorable Saros, Honorable Gakpa was quoting my. They were the three top talking where you go to any other intellectual forum or you go even for opinion pool, you will see that these three guys will always be neck to neck in every opinion polls that are conducted in Lofa County on our various community radio stations. So this is how it went like. And the people have said on Rosago over the period of time, he have forgotten the people. I mean, what you went for were not really done according to their satisfaction. One could be the lack of visit. You are not visiting the people in the various areas, various districts and other places. You are not visiting the people. Unlike these elections now, he's trying to go back to reconcile some of these things, and wherein they told him that for now, I mean, it will be a tough one. So this is the reason why that Honorable Zago was number 4 in these elections in Lufaka.
All right, Jeremiah. Thank you so much. We have to leave it right there and go to Nelson Colette, who's currently at the
Thank you
headquarters of the National Elections Commission. Thank you.
so much. Thank you so much, Honorable Saros and Honorable Gizi, and they are on their way to hit Fanyama City today for celebration. Thank you so much.
All right. All right. So Jeremiah Double is there for us in Fayama City, Lofa County. But talking about being there for us, Nelson Colette and his team are currently live from the headquarters of the National Elections Commission. Let's see if we can get some audio from Nelson and his team, and we can start to do a build up, for the NEC's press conference. According to them, is going to kickstart at exactly 4:30 p.m. on the dot, with 3 minutes shy of 4:30, and we're waiting to see once the NEC gives us the green light. And once the live, Nelson, we're not getting visuals from you. Kindly do some technical tweaking, you and your team. You are in the software. Thank you for that. Afternoon to you, Nelson. Kindly unmute your mic.
Well, good afternoon to you, Diamond, and good afternoon to Liberians across the world who have joined us today. It's good to be here again.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. We here again for I'm good. I told you I'm good. Yeah.
We not come again.
Uh
Yeah, all Liberian people, we not come again.
So we do see that the chairs are all set, but give us a few of the hall and what are you anticipating today? Is the NEC, from your own analysis, going to release the entirety of the 7.18%, of the total number of polling places remaining across the country?
Okay, yes. So that is the expectation. But Diamond, as I speak to you, journalists are now rushing into the conference room. So there's there's uh, there's a feel that any moment from now, this very important press conference is going to be starting. Journalists are taking their seats. We're just a couple of minutes away from 4:30, the official start time for this press conference. So yeah, the hall, as usual, is crowded with media personalities with different institutions, and and I see this is the entire corridor here that has been allotted to the media, and it's been well attended today. I mean, because there is this expectation that NEC will just complete the remaining 7.1% of the total results that is expected to come out. So yes, today is expected to be the D-Day. I saw a huge presence of the security as I made my way into this hall. There's a huge presence of the security out there from both sides of the avenue here on 9th Street, where the National Elections Commission is situated. So there are local and international journalists here. And what I don't see here, Diamond, is a huge presence of our observers and other partners. Like you see, this segment of the conference room is allotted for
Nelson, you
other
have to
platforms.
work on your audio for us. I want to do some tweaking quickly. Well, I think we have a minute or two. If you want to just work on your audio quickly so that we can get very good audio
Okay,
quality from you.
Diamond, are you there? Are you there?
Yeah, it's better. Oh, good. Whatever you did, that worked the magic. So go ahead.
Okay, so as you see, this portion of the hall is exclusively for the observers. Some of the commissioners have started working in that. Commissioner Bwakai Dukley there, just trying to take a seat. And I see Commissioner Josephine as well. Uh, Josephine Colgay is moving to take her seat. And I see the other commissioners are also moving to take their seats here as well. And so what is happening is that the next chairperson, Madam Director Brown Lasana, at this point is seated, as you see the diamond. And so this is a clear indication that any moment from now, this very important press conference will be taken off.
Yeah.
Are you
So
there now?
Nelson, we're depending on your audio and your video, because what we usually do is not up and ready for now. So we are going to keep your audio line opened to give us the message, the briefing from the National Elections Commission. Any representations from political parties that have contested in the October 10 polls? Do you see them in the hall there as well?
No, Diamond, up to now, I'm yet to see any representation of political parties. As you see, this is a segment that's for other observers and all of that. But this entire segment of the hall is partly empty. This is exactly what it is. So we are yet to see representatives of political parties, whether those ones are participating in the elections or what have you. We are yet to see them. So that's why it is right here, Diamond. But the board of commissioners are all set. The board of commissioners are all set. So there is a few that we will be starting this very important press conference any moment from now. So they were just awaiting the last commissioner to take her seat. So as you see, she's now moving to the podium. She's taking her seat. So once she does that, once she does that, we are going to see the start of this very important press conference today.
If there is another member of your
Diamond,
team, I see Ernest. Let me call his number for him to just place his phone on the decks so that we can get the audio loud and clear from them. How about that?
yes, yes. So you can call
All right,
Ernest.
so
You can call
I'm
Ernest.
making a call. Yeah, let me call Ernest right here. See, unmute your mic, please. Unmute your mic for now.
Okay. So
So, folks, we will be bringing you live audio and video from the headquarters of the National Elections Commission as the NEC chairperson, Madam Deviata Barlasana, is about to address the country.
disconnected from here.
All right, folks, give our guys a minute to get exactly what we want from them. This press conference is about to start, and we'll be bringing you audio from there as well and video. Do bear with us as we try to bring you the very best.
Co-chair and fellow officials, distinguished stakeholders, fellow Nigerians, members of the press, I welcome you to this of the presidential, senatorial, and representative elections have two polling places in Bill of Full election in Lima County held on Friday, the 20th October. You may recall the next report following the close of the polls on 10th October 2023 at Bill of Full. Some individuals making away with some of the ballot boxes to later destroy the contents. At the Montserrat County County Center at the County School Complex, the magistrate of Upper and Lower Montserrat ordered the arrest of 5 polling staff for electoral malpractices. Similarly, at the Grand Cape Mount Tally Center in Robertsport, the election magistrate reported that 3 presiding officers were found to have been involved in electoral malpractices at one precinct, Weju Public School with code 12035. Investigation in these matters is ongoing and findings will be disclosed to the public as soon as they are made available to us. Ladies and gentlemen, as the MEC approaches the conclusion of the announcement of progressive results for the 10th October 2023 presidential and legislative
transmitted to the NEC data center and also collated for the presidential, senatorial, and representative elections will definitely be announced. The Commission commits to the integrity of processing and announcing the votes of the Liberian people now and to the very end, when the Commission shall announce the final results of winners in the presidential and legislative elections in the coming days. The following are the tally results for the magisterial offices across the country to date. Presidential tally report consolidated. Bami County, 170 polling places of a total of 171 polling places, constituting 99.42%. Boyka Joseph N. UP, votes obtained 25,258, constituting 52.69%. Wia George Mane, CDC, votes obtained 18,152, constituting 37.86%. Alperton Junior Edward W. GDM, votes obtained 1,900. I'll read that again. Alperton Junior Edward W. GDM, votes
presidential results of Bami County.
Obtained 1,009, constituting 2.10%. Those were the presidential results for Bami County. And now for Bong County, 553 polling places of a total of 555 polling places, constituting 99.64%. We are George Banner, CDC, 76,776, constituting 43.87%. Boyka Joseph N. UP, votes obtained 67,124, constituting 38.35%. Alpeton Junior Edward W. GDM, votes obtained 5,278, constituting 3.02%. Those were the presidential results from Bond County. And now the presidential results from Grand Bassa. 405 polling places, of a total of 405 polling places, constituting 100%. We are George Mane, CDC, votes obtained 46,651, constituting 44.31%. Boyka Joseph N. UP, votes obtained 36,214, constituting 34.40%. Alpeton Junior Edward W. GDM, votes obtained 5,267, constituting 5.00%. Those were the presidential votes or results from Grand Bassa County. And now for Grand Cape Mount County. 192 polling places of a total of 213 polling places, constituting 90.14%. Boyka Joseph N. UP, votes obtained 23,806, constituting 43.08%. We are George Banner, CDC, votes obtained 22,908, constituting 41.46%. Alpeton Junior Edward W. GDM, votes obtained 1,472, constituting 2.66%. Those were the presidential votes results from Grand Cape Mount County. We go on to Grand Jida, 161 polling places of a total of 163 polling places, constituting 98.77%. We are George Mane, CDC, votes obtained 34,419, constituting 78.16%. Boyka Joseph N. UP, votes obtained 4,638, constituting 10.53%. Alpeton Junior Edward W. GDM, votes obtained 1,180, constituting 2.68%. Those were the presidential results from Grand Jida County. And now for Grand Cru County, 109 polling places of a total of 110 polling places, constituting 99.09%. We are George Mane, CDC, votes obtained 24,222, constituting 79.55%. Boyka Joseph N. UP, votes obtained 2,556, constituting 8.39%. Alpeton Junior Edward W. GDM, votes obtained 1,134, constituting 3.72%. Those were the results for the presidency from Grand Cru County. And now from Margibi, 397 polling places of a total of 441 polling places, constituting 90.02%. Boyka Joseph N. UP, votes obtained 57,178, constituting 47.38%. We are George Mane, CDC, votes obtained 49,874, constituting 41.33%. Alpeton Junior Edward W. GDM, votes obtained 2,838, constituting 2.35%. Those were the presidential results from Margibi County. And now from Maryland County, 167 polling places of a total of 175 polling places, constituting 95.43%. We are George Barnes CDC, votes obtained 34,990, constituting 73.03%. Boycott Joseph N, UP, votes obtained 5,420, constituting 11.31%. Alberton Junior Edward W. GDM, votes obtained 1,722, constituting 3.59%. Those were the presidential results from Maryland County. Monserrado County, 1,999 polling places of a total of 2,800. Let me read that again. 1,999 polling places of a total of 2,008 polling places, constituting 99.55%. Boycott Joseph N, UP, votes obtained 320,727, constituting 46.48%. We are George Manor CDC, 318,053, constituting 46.09%. Kamara Senior Lucini F. Alcott, votes obtained 17,015, constituting 2.45%. Those were the results presidency from Monserrado County. Nemba County, 733 polling places of a total of 736 polling places, constituting 99.59%. Boycott Joseph N, UP, votes obtained 137,433, constituting 59.53%. We are George Manor CDC, votes obtained 50,269, constituting 21.77%. Gonglo Tiawanse LPP, votes obtained 16,856, constituting 7.30%. Those were the results of the presidency from Nimba County. And now for Sino County. 151 polling places of a total of 152 polling places, constituting 99.34%. We are George Manor CDC, 29,621, constituting 78.10%. Boycott Joseph N of UP, votes obtained 4,467, constituting 11.78%. Alberton Junior Edward W. GDM, votes obtained 1,110, constituting 2.93%. Those were the presidential results from Sino County. Now for River G, 96 polling places of a total of 98 polling places, constituting 97.96%. We are George Manor of CDC, votes obtained 19,130, constituting 70.27%. Boycott Joseph N. UP, votes obtained 4,417, constituting 16.22%. Alberton Junior Edward W. GDM, votes obtained 1,038, constituting 3.81%. Those were the presidential results from the counties. I will now read you the National Presidential Progressive Tally Report. 5,996 polling places of a total of 5,800 890 polling places, constituting 98.40%. Candidate Appleton Jr. Edward W. GDM, votes obtained 39,712, constituting 2.20%. Boyka Joseph N. UP, votes obtained 786,205, constituting 43.49%. Brown Junior Allen R. LRP, votes obtained 15,408, constituting 0.85%. Cummings Alexander B. CPP, votes obtained 29,148, constituting 1.61%. Freeman Senior Simeon CM MPC, votes obtained 13,020, constituting 0.72%. Gonglo Tiawanse LPP, votes obtained 26,057, constituting 1.44%. Kamara Senior Lucini F. Alcott, votes obtained 35,529, constituting 1.97%. Kiamo David GB DPPL, votes obtained 5,006, constituting 0.28%. Collie Alexander N. RNC, votes obtained 4,296, constituting 0.24%. Kuyate Sheikh A. LFM, votes obtained 5,020, constituting 0.28%. Kroma Bendu Alima, independent, votes obtained 5,850, constituting 0.32%. Miller and 40, constituting 0.16%. Maniba Clarence K. Lindu, votes obtained 5,119, constituting 0.28%. Morris Robert Friends, independent, votes obtained 3,282, constituting 0.18%. Nyanti Sarah Beslow, all, votes obtained 3,583, constituting 0.20%. Tweeder William Ware, DNA, votes obtained 10,987, constituting 0.61%. Turner Joshua Tom, NLP, votes obtained 9,658, constituting 0.53%. We are George Manan, CDC, votes obtained 791,066. Let me do that again. We are George Manan, CDC, votes obtained 791,661, constituting 43.79%. Wapo Jeremiah Z, votes obtained 9,002, constituting 0.50%. And Yofi Luther N. Rebuilders, votes obtained 6,383, constituting 0.35%. Total valid votes, 1,807,766, constituting 100%. Total invalid votes, 112,875. Total votes, 1,920,641. That ends the National Presidential Progressive Tally Report consolidated. Thank you. I now invite my colleague to read the Senate and the representative results.
Progressive tally report. Senate. County. Grand Kipman County. 192 polling place of the total of 213 polling places, constituting 90.14%. Fampla Deba M. UP. Vote obtained 10,620. Percent 19.18%. Sony Mambu M. CDC 8,869, constituting 16.02%. Watson Victor Fanny Independent. Vote obtained 8,695, constituting 15.71%. That's the Senate. Grand Kipman County. Grand Kipman County Electoral District 1, House of Representatives. 62 polling places of the total of 69 polling places, constituting 89.86%. Masale Bendu, CDC 5,698, constituting 33.29%. Sharif Moba EN LTP, vote obtained 3,836, constituting 22.41%. Sharif Bob Ish UP 2,737, percentage 15.99%. That's in district number 1, Grand Kipman County. District number 2, Grand Kipman County. 68 polling places of a total of 68 polling places, 100%. That's Donso Mohammed Independent, 3,972, constituting 18.86%. Fufana Kula Bono N UP 1,693, constituting 8.04%. Fobu K Rich CPP, vote obtained 1,648, constituting 7.86. District number 2, Grand Kipman County. District number 3, 62 polling places of a total of 76 polling places, constituting 81.58%. FICA, BC, Sony, Volt, VOLT, vote obtained 4,132, constituting 23.82%. Samula, Momo, ICO, vote obtained 2,785, constituting 16.05%. Famule Morris MM UP, vote obtained 2,040, constituting 11.76%. Madam Chair, you finished. Grand
Thank you.
Kipman County is completed for now.
Your co-chair now invites Commissioner Boyka Duclay to read Senate and Representative results.
Progressive tally report consolidated. The Senate, County Sino, 151 polling places out of a total of 152, constituting 99.34%. Duncan Creighton O, CDC, votes obtained 20,457, constituting 52.72%. Tiaje J. Milton, Independent, votes obtained 11,164, constituting 28.77%. Zaza Matthew G., Independent, votes obtained 7,184, constituting 18.51. That's for the Senate, Sino County. We go to Sino County Electoral District, District 2. 49 polling places out of a total of 49, constituting 100%. Wia Samsim Kwiju, constituting 4,309 votes. 4,000, I repeat that, 4,309 votes, constituting 35.85%. Nangbe Otello Do, EFFL, votes obtained 2,432, constituting 20.23%. Kofa Jones Isaac, PUP, votes obtained 1,956, constituting 16.27%. That's District 2, Sino County. We go to District 3, Sino County. 50 polling places out of a total of 51, constituting 98.04%. Noah Alex S., CDC, votes obtained 3,168, constituting 27.03%. Tuo Jr., Joseph G., CPP, votes obtained 2,553, constituting 21.78%. Tale Sylvia A., Independent, votes obtained 1,984, constituting 16.93%. That's it for Sino County.
Thank you, Commissioner Duclay. I will now invite Commissioner Basi Pangmai to continue the reading of Senate and Representative results.
$161 polling places of the total of 163 polling places, 98.77% Progressive Tally Report, Consolidated, Senate, Grand Jita County. Nameland, Thomas Yaya, LRP, 17,910, 17910, 41.02%. Dennis A. Marshall, CDC, vote obtained 11,847, 11847, 27.13%. Grand Addis Chelsea, UP, vote obtained 7,939, 7939, 18.18%. That ends the Senate Progressive Tally Report. We move on to District 2, Grand Jita County, 53 polling places of the total of 54 polling places, 98.15%. Johnson Mary G. LRP, vote obtained 4,218, 4218, 32.16%. Duet Wade MCDC, vote obtained 3,589, 3589, 27.36%. Tally Alfred W. RA, vote obtained 2,161, 2161, 16.47%. That ends Grand Jita County. Progressive Tally Report, Consolidated Senate, County is Grand Crew. 108 polling places of the total of 110 polling places, 98.18%. Chair Abo Tupe, CDC, vote obtained 25,261, 25261, 82.26%. Do Vincento CPP, vote obtained 5,448, 5448, 17.74%. That ends Grand Crew County. We move on to electoral district number 1, Grand Crew County. 52 polling places of the total of 53 polling places, 98.11%. Bawe, Senior Natania N, CPP, vote obtained 3,038, 3038, 20.25%. Bo Alfred Sako, Independent, vote obtained 2,655, 2655, 17.70%. Wilson Farkas TLP, vote obtained 2,309, 2309, 15.39%. We move on to electoral district number, that ends Grand Crew County. We move on to Maryland County. 166 polling places of the total of 175 polling places, 94.86%. Progressive Tally Report, Consolidated Senate, Maryland County. Brown J. Blebo, CDC, vote obtained 12,462, 12462, 25.80%. Topo Wallow E. Lanu, vote obtained 11,250, 11250, 23.29%. Namwe J Tier Independent, vote obtained 8,745, 8745, 18.10%. That ends the Senate. We move on to electoral district number 1, Maryland County, 51 polling places. Of the total of 52 polling places, 98.08%. Jury P. Mark CDC, vote obtained 5,519, 5519, 35.26%. Wallace William W. Independent candidate, vote obtained 5,128, 5128, 32.76%. Howard Erling Blessing PUP, vote obtained 2,105, 2105, 13.45%. That ends electoral district number 1. We move to electoral district number 2, Maryland County, 55 polling places. Of the total of 57 polling places, 96.49%. Williams Anthony F. CPP, vote obtained 8,017, 8017, 45.33%. Chimos Buffer CDC, vote obtained 7,919, 7919, 44.77%. Hoto Tumel YALP, vote obtained 337, 337, 1.91%. We move to electoral district number 3, Maryland County, 62 polling places. Of the total of 66 polling places, 93.94%. Taylor Austin Blady Independent, vote obtained 4,130, 4130, 26.93%. Roland Ase Balu CDC, vote obtained 3,961, 3961, 25.83%. Smith Malcolm Puchu PUP, vote obtained 1,777, 1777, 11.59%. That ends the progressive tally report for my oversight country, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Kwang Mai. We now invite Commissioner Josephine Gay to continue with the Senate and representative results.
Thanks, Madam Chair. Progressive tally report consolidated Senate, Grand Bassa County, 404 polling places of total 405 polling places. Percentage 99.75%. Finlay Bezonga M Independent, votes obtained 55,624. Percentage 52.24%. Bagbe Janje CDC, votes obtained 25,384. Percentage 23.84%. Harris Magdalene G Independent, votes obtained 12,396. Percent 11.64%. That was for Grand Bassa County Senate. We move to electoral district 2, Grand Bassa County. 83 polling places of total 84 polling places. Percentage 98.81%. Banks J. Clarence T. Independent. Votes obtained 5,361. Percent 28.12. Cowell Mary M. CDC. Votes obtained 4,777. Percent 25.06. Dancehall Thompson B. Nanu. Votes obtained 1,594. Percent 8.36%. We move to Electoral District 4, Grand Bassa County. 77 polling places of total 77 polling places. Percent 100%. Flomo Afra H. UP. Votes obtained 9,846. Percent 46.52. Wele the second Vincent ST. Independent. Votes obtained 9,549. Percent 45.11. Peters Convrangal S. NDC. Votes obtained 739. Percent 3.49. We go to Electoral District 5, Grand Bassa County. 77 polling places of total 78 polling places. Percent 98.72%. Joshua the second Thomas A. CPP. Votes obtained 4,292. Percent 22.63. Dennis C. Joa S. UP. Votes obtained 4,242. Percent 22.37. Binding Ben DS. CDC. Votes obtained 3,745. Percent 19.75. That concludes Grand Bassa County Consolidated Reports. Move on to Mount Gilead County. For the House of Senate, 397 polling places of the total of 441 polling places. Percent 90.02. Miguel Nathaniel F. CDC. Votes obtained 46,692. Percent 39.20%. Yakpawulo J. Yapuya PUP. Votes obtained 22,171. Percent 18.61. Zeze Bala G. UP. Votes obtained 21,754. Percent 18.26. That was for Senate. We go down to Electoral District 1, Mount Gilead County. 111 polling places of the total 140 polling places. Percent 79.29. Corporal Roland OP, Independent. Votes obtained 5,406. Percent 16.32. Donald Maria Ava, CDC. Votes obtained 4,547. Percent 13.73. Wally Sa Arrow, Independent. Votes obtained 4,468. Percent 13.49. We go to Electoral District 2, Mount Gilead County. 82 polling places of the total of 82 polling places, 100%. Jones Ava Kokolu, CDC. Votes obtained 11,545. Percent 46.39. Oribel Christopher S. PUP. Votes obtained 6,436%, 25.86. Sphere H Markers. CPP. Votes obtained 3,375%, 13.56. We move to electoral district 3, Mangibi County. 65 polling places of total 73 polling places. Percent 89.04. Anto Blair Allen A. Independent. Votes obtained 9,928%, 50.78. Bakole Dorothy Q. Independent. Votes obtained 3,481%, 17.81. Smith Jr. John Solonte, UP. Votes obtained 3,472%, 17.76. We go to electoral district 4, Mangibi County. 64 polling places of the total 71 polling places, 90.14%. Sapiatu J. Jimmy, UP. Votes obtained 3,821%, 20.44. Ya Emmanuel, CDC. Votes obtained 3,787%, 20.26. Cooper Francis F. PUP. Votes obtained 3,556%, 19.02. Go to electoral district 5, Mangibi County. 75 polling places of total 75 polling places, 100%. Gaia Clarence G. CDC. Votes obtained 4,058%, 18.42. Cooper Geneton Sai. ALP. Votes obtained 3,437%, 15.60. Besa Alice T. Independent. Votes obtained 3,263%, 14.81%. Madam Chair, that ends the reading for the two counties.
Thank you, Commissioner Gay. I'll now invite Commissioner Sayer to continue the reading of Senate and representative results.
Senate results, Moserado County. 1,998 polling places out of 2,008 polling places, constituting 99.50%. Sai Hadi Joseph, CDC, votes obtained 373,628, constituting 56.47%. Women JMP, UP, votes obtained 151,120, constituting 22.84%. Victoria Tyler Kwekwe, CPP, votes obtained 50,053, constituting 7.56%. Moserado County Electoral District 1. 134 polling places out of 134 polling places, constituting 100%. Yatta Riget Barry, CPP, votes obtained 5,358, constituting 13.35%. Ruth L. James, CDC, votes obtained 3,715, constituting 9.26%. Morris S. Babe, PUP, votes obtained 2,899, constituting 7.23%. Electoral District 2, Moserado County. 128 polling places out of 128 polling places, constituting 100%. Seku Sarefinde Kane, UP, votes obtained 9,965, constituting 22.36%. Nimland Doyen J, Independent, votes obtained 9,432, constituting 21.17%. Massa A. Sharif, NDP, votes obtained 7,502, constituting 16.83%. Moserado County Electoral District 3. 106 polling places out of 106 polling places, constituting 100%. Sumo Koli Moba, ALP, votes obtained 8,979, constituting 23.89%. Patrick Komoya, Independent, votes obtained 6,997, constituting 18.61%. Sibel Bashel, CD, UP, votes obtained 5,987, constituting 15.93%. Electoral District 4, Moserado County. 161 polling places out of 163 polling places reporting, constituting 98.77%. Michael M. Thomas, Independent, votes obtained 14,408, constituting 26.33%. Swakoko Ara Dennis, Independent, votes obtained 9,746, constituting 17.81%. Momo B. Kamara, CDC, votes obtained 7,177, constituting 13.11%. Electoral District 5, Moserado County. 98 polling places out of 98 polling places reporting, constituting 100%. Priscilla A. Cooper, UP, votes obtained 8,408, constituting 24.95%. Eric Bay, CDC, votes obtained 5,277, constituting 15.66%. Kwesi Johnson Senior S, Independent, votes obtained 4,880, constituting 14.48%. Electoral District 6, Moserado County. 127 polling places out of 128 polling places, constituting 99.22%. Samuel R. Enders, Independent, votes obtained 18,093, constituting 38.62%. Harris Johnson, UP, votes obtained 4,870, constituting 10.40%. Woki K. Dolo, Independent, votes obtained 4,746, constituting 10.13%. Electoral District 9, Moserado County. I'll skip 8 and 7 because the reports are the same. 101 polling places out of 102 polling places reporting. Is there a problem? I said I skipped electoral district 7 because the vote from yesterday are the same for today. And I skipped 8 because the vote from yesterday are the same for today. Are we together? Okay. I can still come back to read it, right? But they are the same. I'm not going to continue. Electoral District 9, Moserado County. 101 polling places out of 102 polling places reporting, constituting 99.2%. Frank Sarfoko Jr., CDC, 12,421. Percentage, 26.28%. Fubi FA Herons, CPP, Vosotin, 11,585, constituting 33.84%. Miller B. Kanakai, UP, Vosotin, 4,438, constituting 12.96%. Electoral District 10, Moserado County, 129 polling places out of 129 polling places reporting, constituting 100%. Yeke, Y, Kaluba, Independent, Vosotin, 23,394, constituting 51.65%. Josephine W. A. Davis, CDC, Vosotin, 13,709, constituting 30.27%. Yeke Sequini, Independent, Vosotin, 2,427, constituting 5.36%. Electoral District 12, Moserado County. 119 polling places out of 119 polling places reporting, constituting 100%. Jerry K. Yogbo, Independent, Vosotin, 6,280, constituting 15.56%. Prince D. Crampley, CDC, Vosotin, 5,259, constituting 30.03%. Masuen Sa Foko, Independent, Vosotin, 3,658, constituting 9.06%. Electoral District 13, Moserado County, 110 polling places out of 111 polling places, constituting 99.10%. Edward P. Flomo Jr., CDC, Vosotin, 14,397, constituting 39.61%. Cornelia Kra Toba, UP, Vosotin, 9,097, constituting 25.03%. Solomon Chope, Independent, Vosotin, 2,005, constituting 5.52%. Electoral District 15, Moserado County, 95 polling places out of 96 polling places reporting, constituting 98.96%. Abu B. Kamara, CDC, Vosotin, 17,692, percentage 56.18%. Amos Ben Tue, UP, Votes obtained 7,441, constituting 23.63%. Nathaniel P. Stevens, PUP, votes obtained 1,778, constituting 5.65%. Electoral District 17, Morado County. Bernard Blue Benson, CDC, votes obtained 12,000. Come again. Morado County Electoral District 17. 170 polling places out of 171 polling places, constituting 99.42%. Bernard Blue Benson, CDC, 12,656 votes obtained, constituting 23.51%. Abraham C. Sisse, CPP, votes obtained 5,640, constituting 10.48%. Jennifer L. Passaway, UP, votes obtained 5,064, constituting 9.41%. Chair, those are the reports.
Thank you, Commissioner Seya. We now ask Commissioner Awa to read Senate and representative results.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening. I will be proffering to you Senate and Representatives report from the following counties, Bong and Nima counties, from the following electoral district. For Bong County, we'll be reporting on electoral district 3 and 4 for representatives and the Senate. And then for Nima County, we'll report on the Senate and electoral district 4 and 9. I commence with Bong County. Progressive tally report consolidated for the Senate Tuesday, October 17, 2023. Bong County, 553 polling places of the total of 555 polling places, constituting 99.64%. Behe Johnny K, independent. Votes obtained, 77,730, representing the total valid votes of 44.08%. Kafa Edward W, PUP, votes obtained, 55,865, representing the total valid votes of 31.68%. Nazar Mohammed A, ALP, votes obtained, 10,338, representing the total valid votes of 5.86%. This constitutes returns for the Senate, Bong County. We proceed with Electoral District 3, Bong County. 92 polling places of the total of 93 polling places, constituting 98.92%. Core Joshua Marvin, CDC, votes obtained, 19,297, constituting the valid votes of 61.83%. Zawolo Orlando, KUP, votes obtained, 8,103, constituting the valid votes of 25.96%. Wheeler P. Wuhuli, T, RNC, votes obtained, 727,
representing the valid votes of 2.33%. We proceed with Bond County Electoral District 4, which concludes the reading for Bond County. Wamba Robert Flomo, UP, 4,923, constituting a valid votes of 20.79%. Tokba Jonah Newley, CPP, votes obtained 4,653, constituting the valid votes of 19.65%. Kamu Queenie, Independent, votes obtained 4,076, constituting the valid votes of 17.21%. And that concludes the reading for Bond County. We proceed now with Nima County. The Senate and Electoral District, as I told you, 4 and 9. Nima County, 731 polling places of the total of 736 polling places, constituting the amount of 99.32%. Yomin Prince Johnson, MDR, votes obtained 127,374, constituting the valid votes of 54.85%. Tawan Junior Nya, Independent, votes obtained 56,295, constituting the valid votes of 24.24%. Duo Roland G, CDC, votes obtained 19,933, constituting the valid votes of 8.58%. That concludes the Senate for Nima County. We proceed with Electoral District 2, Nima County. 93 polling places of the total of 94 polling places, constituting 98.94%. Flomo Nyangasi, CPP, votes obtained 7,107, constituting a valid votes of 24.44%. Wakior Charles Teach, MDR, votes obtained 5,506, constituting the valid votes of 18.94%. Zangbeng Benjamin S. Linu, votes obtained 5,033, constituting the valid votes of 17.31%. That concludes Electoral District 2, Nima County. We proceed with Electoral District 4, Nima County. 82 polling places of the total of 84 polling places, constituting 97.62%. Kagon Gompu LCDC, votes obtained 7,585, constituting the valid votes of 28.93%. Mensa S. Ernest M. MDR, votes obtained 7,325, constituting the valid votes of 27.94%. Juanu Orlando M. NDC, votes obtained 2,036, constituting the valid votes of 7.77%. We proceed with District number 9, Nima County. 74 polling places of the total of 75 polling places, constituting 98.67%. Wongwe Ta, Independent, votes obtained 6,509, constituting the valid votes of 29.92%. Gwakolo Johnson N, CDC, votes obtained 4,190, constituting the valid votes of 19.26%. Dekba Gongwea O, MDR, votes obtained 3,051, constituting the valid votes of 14.03%. This concludes the reports for Bong and Nema County respectively. I submit, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Awa, for that reading. Let me say to us that as of tomorrow, only updated reports from the presidency, the Senate, and the representative elections will be read. In other words, what we have read before, once the votes have not changed and they have reached 100%, we will not read them again. And of course, you can go on the portal results.necliberia.org to further read these reports. Let me also make a correction. My colleague just drew my attention to the reading of the National Presidential Progressive Tally Reports, wherein the numbers for the polling places were not correct. So I'll read that now. The National Presidential Progressive Tally Report consolidated from 5,796 polling places of a total of 5,890 polling places, constituting 98.40%. Corrected. You will recall that one of you journalists drew our attention to district number 7 regarding, I think, the issue about the percentages read at the top for the polling places that reported at that time, wherein we reported 100% completed, and then the next day we reported 99%. The data center checked this out and provides this information. Please listen carefully. Electoral District 7 results. After reporting 100% on Sunday, party agents and observers flagged an issue with the results for code 30372 at Charles W. Bromskin School, polling place 04. The data center says the elections magistrate requested a recount of the votes on Monday, and the records were tallied and updated, file sent to the NEC data center. All the observers are aware of this as they signed onto the updated result. However, the NEC results management system demands that a justification be provided and signed off by the elections magistrate before the updated records can be processed. The magistrate has been asked to appear with his justification of the process he conducted in order to conclude and to announce 100% for Electoral District 7 in Montserrat County. We'll now take your questions. Today, we take 8 questions.
One, two. Okay. Okay, so thank you very much, Madam Commissioner. I'm Nelson Collet, and I report for the Spoon Network. Thank you, first of all, for providing the correction for the number of polling places just a couple of seconds ago. But my first concern comes from right there. Considering the fact that you are not reading these results offhand, you are reading from a prepared text. Is there any justification for that particular number, considering that you are reading from a prepared text? Do you have something else on the paper and you say something different? Where did the correction come from? That's one.
So I will answer that question now. I'm a human being, and you can miss numbers when you are reading. This is why it was important to draw my attention to it, to make the correction, which I've just done.
Thank you. The next concern has to do with the number of invalid votes. We have 112,800 75 invalid votes, as reported by you. Considering the fact that as part of your calendar, the National Elections Commission, there's a portion wherein you were to carry on the voter awareness, and all of that. Considering the number of invalid votes, over 100,000, is it fair to say that the National Elections Commission failed to adequately sensitize our people when it comes to marking the ballot?
I will answer you by saying the commission did not fail to raise awareness. Many things are obtaining with respect to Liberians being able to mark the ballot correctly. You will recall that during the biometric voter registration and during the campaign, oftentimes we have Liberians punching holes in the eyes and ears of candidates they do not favor. They have even brought down posters and what have you. Perhaps this was also transferred to the ballot. Aggression, attitudes, and what have you are usually transferred to the ballots. Instead of marking the person that you are for, you mark the person that you hate, the person that you don't want to win. This probably also obtained during this period. Secondly, it is important to note that CVE is not just with the Elections Commission for a brief period of about 3 months. This should be an ongoing exercise. Moreover, it should be integrated in the national curriculum so that schools begin to teach through the National Elections Commission, providing support, how to mark the ballot. This is a long-term process, and just 3 months perhaps is insufficient to get the kind of results that we all want.
Just a follow to that. What do you intend to do differently to
Please
reduce
hold on,
that
my
number?
colleague wanted to add something.
In the case of a second round,
Sorry,
what
my
do you
colleague
intend to
wants
do?
to add something. Can you please
So
hold on?
let me say to you, the invalid vote is not only unique to one election, it's unique to all the elections. So at the level of the presidency, when the invalid vote, the senatorial election and the representative election, these are accumulated figure that you see. Sometimes people go to the polling place and just decide to say, I'm not going to vote for any other person besides the president. And when they leave it becomes invalid. Sometimes people go to they say, I want to get interest in the representative election and don't vote for the president and the senator. So that invalid vote is across the entire 3 elections that we have conducted. Again, as the chair said, election is everyone's business. If you are interested in the electoral process and you are taking part in the electoral process, it's incumbent upon you to go and educate your people on how to vote. Even though we have done massive civic education. In fact, this is the first time in the Electoral Commission that we have civic education taking place in the 73 electoral districts across the country. So civic education from the Election Commission was done well. But again, we can be there, we can be here, and when people get to the booth, because the vote is your secret, when you get to the booth, some of our educated people can go and write their name and say, I'm writing my name on the ballot paper. And they do that mostly in the urban area. So yes, we will do our best to conduct civic education, but that particular aspect is always on Liberian to ensure that when you go vote, if your vote is invalid, it's just that you are somebody who just didn't go there and vote. So that onus is on all of us, so that next time, and even in Ghana, as we speak, there was time in Ghana where they have more than 10 million invalid vote. The last election Ghana had. So invalid vote depends on how you want to mark your ballot when you get to that place, because in the booth, it's a secret for you and your conscience.
Say that, let me also say that we assure you, as we've done in the past, we will conduct a survey to know how people mark their ballot during these elections, and whatever analysis that comes out of that process, you will get to know.
To ensure that we have the requisite civic and voter education in collaboration with UNDP supporting the CVE process. Like my colleague said, we have the civil society also present, because you have those community-based organizations who collaborated with the NEC, and then they were impacting the CVE cells. So we did everything diligently to ensure that we reached to the voters at every level. We included the gender, we included women, we included people with disability to ensure that the populace get the message. So as we say, this is everybody's business. We will continue pre and post elections until we get to the optimum level.
Thank you. Next question.
Okay, thank you, Madam Commissioner. My name is Ayes Ndiba, and I report for KMTV. With 5,796 out of 5,890 polling places, constituting 98.40, we are left with 94 polling places. Is it fair to say from the commissioner, taking into consideration everything constant, that this election is not possible to be won on the first round, and not to waste the Liberian people time to go for a runoff? Two, there is this concern from, have you received any information or concern from the Unity Party contesting a 10% of the total number of percentages you announce in a dispute? It's been alleged that the Unity Party is contesting 10% of the total number of percentages you have announced.
This is not before us now, but I assure you we will ask the legal section to see whether that information has reached them, when we will report tomorrow. On the issue about first round, the Elections Commission conducts election. It is the Liberian people who decide whether a candidate wins first round or wins second round. Where we are now, we wait for the final results. When those results come about, you standing here will determine who got the first round or second round, because we'll provide the votes of who will be the winner in the presidential as well as senatorial and representative elections.
Thank you very much. My name is Evelyn Sikwi. I report for DW and AFP. Based on your earlier statement about the alleged manipulation of data at the sports complex, can you kind of tell us, based on your investigation, the next investigation, what have you found in terms of in whose favor were the data manipulated, or in whose candidate's favor, based on your investigation?
We have not found anything, because we just told you that the investigation is ongoing, and when the findings come about, we'll have you informed.
Okay. My name is Dennis Nipson. I report for ABC Radio and correspondent VOA. Today, based on your announcement from the presidential tallying from the counties, I realized that Bomi, Bon, River G, Maryland, Grand Crew were called, the same numbers that were called yesterday. You called them today for these counties that were mentioned. Is there any reason why you are repeating the numbers that were called on yesterday? And also, with the way the reports are coming, there's a possibility of a runoff. And the election workers, NEC workers, presiding officer to the queue operators, they have complained that they have not received contract sheet or papers, or they have not received any payment. What is the NEC doing about that as we go towards the runoff?
We will check that information, because we did sign contracts. We did deploy those contracts to the temporary staff. So those who probably may have told you that they have not received their contracts, we need to work with the administration to see how, what has happened there, and to speed up sending those contracts to the temporary staff. With respect to announcing results that we announced before, that was your question, right? Okay, those were the results, but it helps the flow of the reading in terms of the categories that we have been presenting. So that should not be the problem. If we receive results, we add them, we update them. If we have not received results, we don't add them. You understand it? What we read are the results that have been presented to you. Yes, go ahead, please. Is that the last question? Because I'm checking 6.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. My name is Oscar Moba. I am the Executive Director for Journalists Initiative for Peaceful Elections in Liberia, JPL, and the CEO for LIB First Television. I want to thank the Board of Commissioners for the level of work you've done over the time. Nevertheless, since the commencement of the announcement of provisional results, we've observed a number of lapses ranging from your admittance to error in percentages, earlier announced to reports of next staff being arrested for ballot stuffing. I'd like to know from the anchor of the commission, how will you describe the commission's attitude or approach towards these elections that many Liberians term as crucial to the peace and tranquility of Liberia? Thank you.
Sorry, did I hear you say something about next attitude?
I want you to kindly describe the Commission's attitude or approach towards these elections that many Liberians and our international partners see these elections as crucial.
Oh, yes. The elections are crucial elections. And you have really said it right. And we hope that everybody else believes that. But I will say to you that the transparency of the process is cardinal. And this is why we have been doing. When we make mistakes, we come back to you and tell you that we have made a mistake and we correct that mistake or those mistakes. Uploaded to on the portal results.necliberia.org, they are corrected there. And we even reference you to go and check. That's the best we can do. If there are things happening within the magisterial offices, we brought them to you. We told the Liberian people, we are not concealing any information. We're not holding back on anything. Even if it looks like it appears to be against the commission, we have told you. And we will continue to do that. That is the transparency I'm sure you and other Liberians and the international and regional communities are looking for. Make mistake, correct them. Inform everybody that you have made a mistake and you have corrected it. So all of us can move on.
Thank you. My name is Shaman Dabo. I work for the United Methodist Radio. My concern has to do with security. We have been here almost 1 week. We've been here. I want to know from you, more especially the commissioner here, how safe is your family, including you, when it comes to security? Even though our attention is on election result, but there have been a couple of threatening statements by individuals. How prepared are you? The Liberian government, are they provide security for you and your family? So I just want you to address that.
Thank you for your question. The Board of Commissioners says that it is safe.
My name is Gerald Koyene. I write for Front Page Africa. Madam Chair, the other time you admitted that your data analyst and the officer was subjected to investigation from the complaints of the CDC. What is the latest on the investigation? And secondly, when the process started, you were very fast in announcing more results, especially the polling places. But since Sunday, as those polling places decrease, District 8, which is an urban area and other area in Monserrado, they have not completed. What is the problem?
What is obtaining is that as we receive the results from the tally process, we announce them. Also, to your query on the investigation with the complaints from the CDC against one of our staff, we tell you that we wrote them acknowledging their complaint and invited them them to a conference by way of a written communication, also on their mobile conversation with the political affairs section. To date, we are informed by the political affairs section that they said they will write us back. So we are waiting for that letter. Until then, the commission continues to do its work. Thank you very much for coming. We'll see you tomorrow. Tamara Senior.
Members of the press for coming.
Nelson.
Okay, so Diamond.
Yes, Nelson, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, so yes, so you just heard it from the next chairperson, Madam Deviato Brown Lassana, ending today's press conference with a question there from one of the journalists asking us to what is it like for her and the other board of commissioners with respect to security for them and their family members, considering that they are presiding over a very crucial electoral process. And so our response was that they are okay, they're doing well, they are secure, they have no issue when it comes to security, and there's absolutely no threat on their lives as one would insinuate. But again, Diamond, contrary to the expectation and series of predictions that were made here today with respect to today being the D-Day for this particular result, the progressive party results from the National Elections Commission, contrary to what a lot of people expected, today we've seen just the complete contrary because from all indications, based on what we gathered from the National Elections Commission, we've been able to receive 98.4% of the total votes from the National Elections Commission here today, talking about 5,796 polling places out of 5,809 polling places. So it means that we are still left with 1.6% of the votes, especially in the case of the presidential votes that we should be getting from the National Elections Commission. According to the announcement just made by the communications person here at NEC, Prince Dumba, he has said that we are going to be here tomorrow again for another round of another press conference. So it means that the process is still ongoing, and Liberians, as you know, across the world have their ears up, their eyes up, and everyone is highly anticipating what comes up in the National Elections Commission. And again, as it stands, the predictions are clear now that we will certainly be going for a second round. But while this was going on, Diamond, there was a situation going on. There was a situation that transpired outside of the conference hall. So I was informed of a kind of a protest that was going on, and I tried to make my way right after asking a question. And as I made my way out there, I didn't realize that the police had already taken siege of the matter. But about three, according to what I gathered from there, about three residents of District 8 had assembled right before the National Elections Commission. In fact, they were able to make their way inside in the premises of the NEC, demanding the final results from District Number 8, Montserrado County. And the security there was able to take control of the situation. I understand they took them out of the premises of the National Elections Commission. But as you know, District 7 and District 8 were not mentioned today with respect to the announcement of calling of the Progressive Party report or the results of the National Elections Commission. And immediately when when the commissioner skipped District 7 and 8, there were huge concerns from journalists in the whole Diamond, and his justification for that was the result for District 78 as of yesterday is the same as today. So there's no reason why they should go over a result that has already been announced. So apparently, based on that, those individuals gathered out there demanding the results.
Okay, so let's look at places that are yet to be reported 100%. And again, I'm going to play the devil's advocate when it comes to which way this must swing once the NEC is totally done with the issue of releasing the progressive tally results from across the country.
Yeah.
So you in places that are considered the stronghold of the Unity Party. You have Margibi with 44 polling places outstanding yet to be reported. You have Cape
Yeah.
Mount, 21 polling places outstanding. You have Monserrado with 9, and the Unity Party is definitely in the lead in Monserrado County. You have Nimba County with 3. So the total of those counties polling places that are outstanding makes 877 in places that are considered the stronghold of the Unity Party. You have Maryland with 7 outstanding polling places. You have Grand Jita with 2, Grand Crew with 1, Sino with 1, and River G with 1. Total of 12 polling places remaining in places or areas that are considered the stronghold of the ruling CDC. With the numbers that we have now in terms of the percentage, and I'm trying to go there, but I know you do have the percentage. When you have 43 to 12, and the kind of slender advantage percentage and vote wise that the CDC has got. What can you say in terms of either or? This might be when the NEC finally concludes 100% of reporting of the polling places in the country concerning this president and vice president race.
Yes, you know, the percentages that we have here will will increase in favor of any of the political party or decrease based on where they are coming from. And like you mentioned, there are still places in the southeastern region that we are yet to get some numbers coming from. Those places that are considered a stronghold of the Coalition for Democratic Change, the CDC. Similarly, there are places like Margibi County, for example, that's proving to be one of the places where the Unity Party is getting more votes from. That still has some polling places remaining as well. But it's a kind of tricky thing, Diamond, as it stands, because even in the places that are considered a stronghold of any of those political parties, there are communities, there are regions, there are towns, there are districts in those places that are equally putting out more votes for any of the for maybe their opponents. Let's put it that way. There are places you take, for example, Margibi County. We were receiving results, the provisional results from Margibi County, and there was a point in time when rural Margibi County, especially the part of Margibi County where you have the Firestone rubber plantation, some of the adjacent towns, you notice that despite Margibi County being one of those counties that was pulling out the votes for the Unity Party, but at that point, in rural Margibi County, the votes were coming out of that place in favor of the CDC, despite Margibi County being the stronghold, all right, of the CDC based on the numbers that we've been receiving. So it goes on that, yes, we have these polling places, whether in counties that are considered the stronghold of the Unity Party or stronghold of the CDC. But at the end of the day, where exactly are these polling places situated? Are they situated in places that will give the Unity Party more votes, or are they situated in places that would give the CDC more votes? And I think that's where the next area of concentration should be, especially for these political parties. If they must celebrate or not, these are things that they should also take into serious consideration.
Okay, talking about serious consideration, looking at the number of invalid votes, Nelson, and your question specifically spoke to that, even though, again, it wasn't properly answered and had the entire board of commissioners. My man, give me virtual high five. Give me virtual high five, Nelson. Virtual high five. You the man there at the NEC, hands down. You know, your question had the entire board of commissioners rattling how to explain, but this number of invalid votes is seriously concerning. What does that speak to? The level of civic voter education that was supposed to have been carried out by the National Elections Commission, looking at the outturn of invalid votes.
You know, interestingly, as I sat and just listened to the press conference today and taking down the numbers, especially the one I could swiftly captured, when it got to the area of invalid votes, it became of a major concern to me because it affects all the different political parties, and at the end of the day, it speaks to how much of an information our people have gathered with respect to how to go about this. So, Diamond, um, just before coming to your question, take for example, as per the numbers released today, we have 112,875 invalid votes as per what we have today in total. So 112,000, if you are just maybe subtracting that from the 2,400,000 we're talking about, that's a significant number, all
It
right?
is.
So and if you go back to the National Elections Commission, the way NEC has proceeded, has been able to proceed with this particular process, this is one of the aspects that was overlooked. It was downplayed from the very onset. I remember as far back as March, as far back as January, Diamond, we were on the radio and flagging how NEC, the National Elections Commission, was falling short of its own calendar, of her own calendar that she had on her website. All right, so. Several months after the next you have even launched the voter awareness and all of those things, they fell short of that time. And sometimes when we spoke to the folks, they will say, oh, budgetary constraints and all of that. But the fact that NEC, the National Elections Commission, did not live up to her own time posted on her website with respect to when they should launch voter awareness and all of those different things, maybe they overlooked that. That is something that has contributed to where we are now. We know that they have CBEs and different organizations that they've partnered with. They spend the country's resources on those CBEs and those different organizations. But the numbers we have now, it doesn't just say, well, though the National Elections Commission chairperson and some other board of commissioners managed to have spoken to that issue. They all had their own points they were coming from, providing their own clarity and all of that. But from a broader perspective, we can see here that the number of invalid votes is alarming. And what that says is that a lot more will have to be done, especially in the case where there's a second round. The National Elections Commission will have to work harder, and the CBEs or CBOs will have to work harder. And we only placing this on the shoulders of the National Elections Commission because to a larger extent, they are being paid to do this. But aside from that, I think even the political parties, the different political parties will have to play their part, educate and sensitize the voters in order to ensure that this particular number, 112,875, is significantly reduced as we move towards a possible runoff or second round.
Okay, let's go to figures quickly, Nelson. You
Yeah.
have the consolidated, you have the CDC now, tipping the Unity Party and now taking top again. Candidate George Manenwia of the CDC accumulating 791,661 votes. That
Yeah.
is the percentage 43.79. Joseph Boyka of the Unity Party, 786,205, constituting 43.49%. The difference is 0.3.
Yeah.
That is the difference.
Yeah.
What does this speak to how closely contested the October 10 polls were for the ruling party and that of the opposition unity party? That's the main opposition unity party.
Well, I think it speaks a lot. It speaks volume, Diamond. I think first of all that the Unity Party was a little bit relaxed based on other indicators that they were using. I think the Unity Party was a bit relaxed. They thought that they would have, just won this thing based on a lot of other things that are happening in the country and the way, they did their messaging and all of that. But the numbers we have coming in does not match the expectation or the projections that parties like the Unity Party made prior to this time. It does not match that projection, right? If you, I mean, even before now, when we spoke with people from the Unity Party, what they'll say is that, look, we're going to beat this, we're going to win this election by a wide margin. That was the prediction back then. And the folks from the CDC equally had this thought that they would have won with a wide margin as well. As you know, Diamond, the both top political parties, the two major political parties in the country, were far ahead of the election. They were claiming a first round victory. That's something they've said repeatedly, that they were going to win on the first ballot. But from what we see now, this is a clear indication that all of those predations, those projections, and their own calculations they made before getting here didn't turn out to be the reality. And it speaks to the fact that Liberians are divided. Liberians are highly divided when it comes to the decisions, or who represent them. Liberians are highly divided. And I think this just speaks to the fact that the both political parties will have to work even harder if they must get a win, whether in the first round, which doesn't seem to be possible, but in
Which
the
is
possible
totally
second.
not possible.
Yeah.
But let me just interrupt you quickly. Let's talk a bit about the Edward Appleton factor. Looking at the
Yeah.
number of votes he has garnered so far,
Mhm.
evil stroke of genius, as stated by Mr. Cummins, or a stroke of serious grace coupled with luck. Which side do you place this?
Well, the Appleton factor, I think, is something that leaves a lot of people with doubts. Surprises. So many people are amazed at what we see now in the case of Appleton. What I think, the luck factor you spoke of is one thing that may have played out, and I'm coming from a point where Appleton was positioned strategically on the ballot. Um, Most of our folks, especially those who are not literate to that extent, would not have that much of a patience, energy to go from top to bottom looking for, so some people will just go ahead and mark the first one, or the second one. So Appleton was strategically positioned on the ballot. That's one aspect I think that played out in his favor. Now, aside from that, Diamond, I think the other aspect where Mr. Cummings spoke of, what is the exact word he used?
Evil stroke of genius.
Okay, so the evil stroke of genius is something that
Yeah, evil
that
stroke
could
of
have.
genius or stroke of an evil genius. One of the two, but
Yeah,
those were the
yeah.
exact words. I might not have gotten it in the right order, but that's just what he said.
Why there are possibilities for that, Diamond? There's no empirical data. I don't have stuff like an evidence or whatever, that there's no indicator. That's what I can say. Now, what I've heard folks, especially from the opposition community, say is that this man did not campaign. He was not one of the
The net
loudest
party headquarters
voices.
right near the
You know,
office, and yet you didn't know. I had to point
even
the
me,
party headquarters to
even
you.
me as a journalist, even me as a journalist, I didn't notice his party's headquarters. I work in that vicinity. Sometimes I walk from there, just go nearby, but I didn't take notice of that until now. So yeah, that evil stroke of genius may be one of the factors that may have played out for Appleton. But again, That's spiritual, and as you know, I'm not a magician, so I can't be able to
All right,
get.
man. I'm bring one is most talk about most renowned sentences there from the NEC. But let's look at Appleton in depth. If you want to look at it, there is a term in at the National Elections Commission which is
Yeah.
used for poll watchers, and it's
Yeah.
called the voter's intention. You know,
Yeah.
many of our people vote using their thumb,
Mhm.
and even others who use their pen. So
Mhm.
if you take your thumb and 75 to 80% of your thumb is in a particular box for a candidate, let's say the ink, spills over to Appleton's points, or
Yeah.
the end of the correct mark enters Appleton's area and all of that, then your poll watchers must look at it keenly with the NEC, those in the NEC presiding officers and other officials of the NEC, to see what was the voter's intention. That is one of the
Yeah.
factors that has contributed to the large turnout of invalid votes. Because if your poll watchers are not strong enough to contest, that look, let's look at this. Let's look at the voters' intention. This is 75, 80% in this box, and this person meant
Yeah.
to vote for this particular candidate. Or that if you look at it and you look at the surname of Appleton's running mate, Kumit, Alex C. I'm not going to go for the physical resemblance and all of that. But if you look at it and all of that, can you say, or those who are of the opinion of the conspiracy theory, that this was cleverly planned, orchestrated, that look, if we can get something like this in a population that has got a higher percentage of people who, are not trained when it comes to how to vote, and there is a limited level of voter education, this would play in disenfranchising a lot of people and could play in our favor. What about those who are of that particular conspiracy theories, Nelson? I know we don't speculate, we don't do all of this, but we analyze from different perspectives.
Well, people will have these different, speculations coming in, but unless we have, the pieces of evidence that will back most of these things, I think we will just continue to speculate. It's no secret that the Appleton factor has caught so many people by surprise. But again, I think even those who are speculating, coming up with these, with the two sides you just provided, will have to go a step further. We have to go a step further. Maybe now, yes, it's a good thing you're talking about, even his running mate and all of that. Maybe we have to go a step further if we must really be able to get at the bottom of this whole Appleton thing. But it's it's it is beyond imagination. It caught everyone by surprise. It's unexpected.
I can see you
So
dumbfounded. You're looking for
it
the words, because
becomes
even if
yeah,
people
it becomes
disrespect to
difficult.
Appleton, if Appleton stands right here and
Mhm.
you ask people, who's this fellow? Except for those who are now following the fact that, okay, he's trending on social
Yeah,
media.
yeah,
How humanly possible? It beats the human imagination. How
yeah.
humanly possible is it that Appleton is even beating Mr. Cummings and the CPP that were revered as the third biggest political party in the country? At one point in
Yeah.
time, they were positioning themselves to be the top dog of the opposition
Mhm.
parties in the country. How can you explain to someone what has happened in these elections? The Appleton factor.
Well, the Appleton factor is something that has caught everyone by surprise. So what I think is that what I think this is going to do is that it's going to leave a lot of people in in a tough position when it comes to how to even explain this. And in fact, it's based on that you see a lot of people speculating. Like you said rightly, Diamond, the likes of Cummings was rated at third place. On the political chart in our country, in all of importance political parties that are well positioned, maybe political parties that were expected to really perform. Cummings was one of those in the picture. But what has happened now with respect to the appetite factor is one that will leave a lot of people with, even I here, I'm also as a journalist, I'm also shocked as to how we got here. But again, one thing I don't want us to forget, Diamond, is the fact that there are some people who have said that this man campaigned. There are some who have
More
said
than
that
Mr. Cummings.
Appleton campaigned. And
More than
and
Mr.
and
Cummings.
and yeah, what I've gathered from them is that he was not campaigning on the media like you saw Mr. Cummings in the different radio stations in the studios, but they said he campaigned in places like Maryland County. He campaigned in the southeastern region and some of those places. But what happened to those places like Grand Cape Mountain County, for example, where we did not hear a lot about Appleton's campaign trail and all of that? No, we didn't get to hear a lot about campaign activity from that part, from those other parts of the country. But yet we still have a lot of votes coming from there for Appleton. All right. And another thing to point out here, Diamond, I was just online at about 4 a.m. this morning, right after the late night show. And then I came across a Facebook page with the name Appleton and all of that. I don't know whether it's his actual Facebook page or a branded account or fake account, as you may call it. But then what I realized that there was a video posted about 3 days ago on that particular page where Appleton was seen or he's seen campaigning in one of the southeastern counties. He's speaking to the people like the Jehovah's Witness campaign, speaking to them like that. And that particular page has about 3-4 posts, and that's all. You don't see anything at the end of it. So that would suggest that either someone is trying to create a social media account or a page in the name of Appleton, saying he's one of those persons that is being talked about in these elections to gain followers, or it could be some of the guys from his camp trying to create this page, posting these videos so as to provide evidence that Appleton has been campaigning, right? But the other side to that is, if this man really did campaign and he has a Facebook page, for example, which we've seen a lot of other presidential candidates had, and they were campaigning, we're seeing them, why didn't this page go live on a single occasion? Because it's easier for anybody to take a video, edit it, and post it. But if you went live, there's no way you can edit the date and all of that you went live. And I think these are some of the things that would have served as an evidence for Appleton had he really campaigned, as being claimed that some of the people who have said that he did. But up to present, there's absolutely no evidence of Appleton's campaign. And so someone said you explain, entire, no evidence. I think that's where we are. That's exactly where we are.
That is the situation with the Appleton factor. You explain, tire, no evidence.
No evidence.
But let's just talk a bit about this issue of the legislative, winners that has been announced by the National Elections Commission. That gives you an insight into what the 54th legislature is going to look like once they are inducted in their various houses, the Senate and the House of Representatives. When you look at Montserrado County, for example, what does that tell you in terms of the makeup of Montserrado and the other counties that winners were announced?
Well, I think we still have results coming in, but judging from what we have so far for Montserrado County, like you have several districts. Oosh, okay, so I don't have the luxury of time to go through this, but Montserrado County, for example, what I have offhand, you have Representative Yeke Koluba, for example, in District Number 10. From all indications, he has won that county, the District 10 Montserrado County. He's a supporter of the opposition bloc. Well, at some point he was with the ANC, he resigned. Now he said he supports the opposition. So he's caught between the ANC and the Unity Party. So that's for District 10. You go to District 6, for example, where Representative Samuel Enders is in a very comfortable lead there ahead of all of his contenders. And then you move on to other districts, like District 8, that is a little bit on the question now, but you see Princeton is in some sort of lead there, who comes from the Unity Party. And then moving on to District 15. Well, District 15 rejected the Unity Party Secretary General, Amos Twe. Now you have Abu Kamara in a very comfortable lead there in District 15. District 16, Dixon Sibo is in a very comfortable lead there as well. He's a projected is projected that he's going to be a winner, the winner in that particular district. He comes from the CDC. You go to District 11, where Representative Richard Nagwe Kun served as the lawmaker, the incumbent. Well, from all indications, he has been re-elected by the people. So what I think is that so far, for Montserrat County, you're gonna have except otherwise, except maybe other factors play in, and maybe we start to get contrary results, results contrary to what we're getting now. But you're gonna have a legislature that is gonna be more of unity party lawmakers, if I may say, from some of the numbers we're getting so far. And the next thing that happens is when you have a legislature that comprises of more lawmakers from the ruling establishment, there's a tendency, there's a high possibility of that legislature being what some others have termed as a rubber stamp, a very weak legislature, in that most of those people who have already won on the ruling party's ticket, in most cases, will not muster the courage to stand up to the government, to stand up to the ruling establishment, considering that they are already a part of this team. All right, so that's the other side of it, that's the other side of it. Considering, on the contrary, if you have more lawmakers from the opposition community, then that's how the likes of the Unity Party government. He served as a lawmaker there as well at the legislature. He was very vocal. But what happened when the CDC came into power? He then became very cool. He was not too much saying into setting up, pushing government's feet to fire or speaking to some of those things, especially when those ideas or bills or other things originated from the government. Then he was cool. He even if he had some critical views on those particular things, he couldn't verse them out the way a lot of people saw him do. The way he did under the previous administration. He didn't say those things out like that because he was part of the CDC government. So the likes of Representative Yeka Kaluba, who knows? There's a possibility that he might remain
Nelson, if you
vocal
hear
or
me,
very.
you have to go out quickly. Pardon the interruption. There is reports that there is a tension brewing outside between aggrieved residents of District Number 8, Montserrat
Okay.
County, and it's brewing outside the headquarters of the NEC. So if you and your camera operator, which I'm suspecting is Ernest Binda, can go out there and bring us the latest reports. Nelson Colette is live from the headquarters of the National Elections Commission. I'm live here in studios in Congo Town. This is the Spoon Network coverage of elections 2023. We've dubbed it 2023 Elections Update 360. We're getting reports that there is a tension outside as brewing between some aggrieved residents of District Number 8, Montserrat County, and that is being quelled by the presence of the joint security. Let Nelson go out there and give us a view of what is unfolding, if the situation has been handled by the Liberia National Police or the joint security. Then we can continue. Remember, at 7 p.m., Spoon News Live is going to come your way. We end this coverage for today at
Okay.
approximately
So Diamond, are you there?
45. That's 15 minutes up to 7 p.m. So outside looks relatively calm.
So Diamond, are you there?
Nelson? Is there any semblance
Diamond,
of
are you there?
disturbances happening there? What I can see is the police have erected a human wall, but what's unfolding? You want to take a look around and all that and see if there are
Diamond,
any
are you there?
pockets of protesters. Yeah, Nelson, I'm here. Are you hearing me? Yes, Nelson, I'm here. I'm here. Can you hear me, sir? So seem to have lost audio connection with Nelson Colette. Nelson, I'm hearing what the noise is from your background. I'm getting an ambience. But I hope you hearing me as well. So there seems to be some network issues with Nelson Colette. Want to see if we can sort that out quickly. Again, reports that there is an ongoing protest in District number 8, Montserrado County, and we'll see if we can get Nelson Collet. That is probably due to internet connectivity issues. So hold on a minute. Once Nelson is back, we'll bring on his live feed. So just updates from the legislative results as announced by the National Elections Commission today in District 5, Montserrado County. The color of that district has changed from blue to green. In District 5, one Priscilla Cooper of the Unity Party has emerged the winner of District number 5, Montserrado County, with 8,408 votes. So she's replacing now elected Lofa District number 1 representative Thomas Fala there. Um, let's see if we can bring you more of those updated results. The legislative seats in Montserrado County as Nelson and his team try to reconnect. So in District number 2, Montserrado County, Sekou Kane of the UP has resurfaced in the House of Representatives. He's back on Capitol Hill. He replaces the outgoing lawmaker Jimmy Smith there in District number 2, Montserrado County. He accumulated 9,965 votes. That is for District number 2, Montserrado County. We're trying to see Nelson is trying to get back in the feed. And once he's able to do that, we'll continue and end at exactly 50 minutes up to 7 p.m. In District number 1, there is a new lawmaker that has been elected in District number 1. That is one Yata Bari. She replaces the outgoing lawmaker Lawrence Morris. She accumulated 5,358 votes. Nelson Cole, are you back?
Okay, yes, Diamond, are you hear me? Are you there, sir?
Yes, loud and clear. Loud and clear. Go ahead.
Okay, so we right out here at the National Elections Commission. So this is the external view. This is the view here of the National Elections Commission. As you see here, there's a huge presence of state security, a very huge presence of state security right out here. So we want to give you a view. Diamond, if you're there, we want to give you a view of this particular environment here from the other side. We are told that there are individuals who came here today to protest. They came to demand results from their district number 8, Montserrado County. And at a point, there was a bit of tension here. And it was good that you even signaled that to us. There was a bit of tension here. But as it stands now, Diamond, what you see here is that there's a very huge presence of state security here right now, trying to restore calm. Because this spot, the National Elections Commission, as it stands right now, is the hottest spot in the country. This is where the political parties are concentrated, the market women are concentrated, the students, the business people are concentrated, and this is exactly the place that even the government of Liberia is concentrated on to ensure that maximum security is provided here. So there's a huge presence of security here. As you see, Diamond, calm has been restored despite whatever the tension was that took over this particular vicinity before we got here.
Okay, Nelson, we have to conclude this coverage now because we're getting signals from the news and current affairs department. They need to get themselves prepared to bring news to our people as well, which is very, very important. But let's just conclude with this issue of the second round. The NEC, we all know from the numbers that are available. Once again, let me make this correction. The incoming legislature will be the 55th legislature of the Republic of Liberia. And we're talking about the makeup of the 55th legislature. What will it be like? Already conversations being had about who will be speaker. Remember, the current speaker is embroiled in a serious electoral battle there in his district in Maryland County. Whether or not he will be returning to the legislature, that is another question. And second to him in the House of Representatives, Moses Akaros Gray is also on the losing end of the knife as it stands until there's something that will make him to top the pile and be re-elected there in district number 8. But let's conclude on what should be done for the runoff, Nelson.
Okay, so I think a whole lot will have to be done for the runoff, Diamond. A whole lot will have to be done. Um, from the angle of the national elections, I don't know from what angle this question is coming from. Uh, but
Not
I
from the
think,
NEC's angle, not from the NEC's angle, but for the two political parties that will be going in the runoff.
okay, so, well, I think those political parties will have to work harder. That's the first thing because the numbers so far, the numbers we've gotten right down, uh, does not does not say well for any of the political parties. Yesterday, the margin between the Unity Party and that of the CDC was 0.05, and today the margin is nowhere. So I think going to a second round, the both political parties will have to work extra hard because the Unity Party, for example, should take into consideration that the CDC will be reaching out to those top performing candidates to ensure that they get some of the votes from there. Now, the CDC should also consider that based on the fact that Unity Party is already an opposition, and those other political parties were opposition political parties or opposition candidates in the race, the CDC should also consider that the Unity Party is going to be reaching out to those people. And the fact that they are all opposition, it makes it easier for any of those political parties to want to work with the Unity Party. And so I think all of these are factors that are going to be playing out. And I think they will have to work harder. But again, Diamond, just before I go, I think there's going to be lots of betrayals in this second round. Unfortunately,
When
some
you
of
say
the
betrayal, what do
expectations,
you mean? You're talking about
yes,
Judas's, or what kind of betrayal are
definitely.
you talking
That's
about?
exactly where I'm going, Diamond. Unfortunately, some of those political parties who think that because uh, let's say, for example, the Unity Party, maybe because you are an opposition political party, you are going to get support from these other opposition politicians. Despite all of you preaching the same message, you want the government out, there are going to be some surprises in the sense that some of these parties will just not go the direction that even the Unity Party or the CDC or the Liberian people are going to anticipate. So there are lots of surprises that are going to come out as we go to the second round. Lots of
I
surprises.
want to let you go. I want to let you go. But aside the fact that we're wearing yellow again, have you noticed the second day in row? Yesterday I wore black, you wore black, and today is yellow. I don't know who's spying on the other, but I think
Yeah, I think
that the
that speaks
appetite
to the
factor.
teamwork.
That the appetite factor.
I think
But
that speaks to the teamwork and all of
my
that.
last question to you, Mr. Kula. The conversation gets interesting the more we talk, but we have to go because Haji Masale and the rest of the news guys, they're standing looking directly at me and just winking and doing all sorts of things. We have to go. But my last question to you is speakership. Which names are going to be thrown in the hat when you look at it for now?
Look,
Speakership. You
look,
have the deputy
Diamond.
speaker coming back. You have the
Mhm,
speaker seemingly not coming back. You know, you
mhm.
have Yeke Koluba. You have a host of others, including Thomas Fala and the rest. For the speakership position, though it's too early to say, but ambitions are already being hatched. Who are those you think will be the names who will soon be thrown in the hat for speakership?
Let me say this, Deputy Speaker Jay Fonati Kofa would certainly want to climb the ladder, uh, because this is someone who have tasted, he's gone so close to what the speakership is. He has he has experienced to some extent what it means to be, at that particular level in terms of the house's leadership. So I am, I want to project here that he's gonna be one of those persons who's gonna be throwing, his heart in the race, and then yes, some other folks, some other names. Maybe I'm still looking around and looking at the results that are still coming in. But again, I think Speaker, former Deputy Speaker, or should we say Deputy Speaker,
He's
J.
still
Fonati
deputy.
Kofa,
Mhm.
yeah, he's still Deputy Speaker. Fonati Kofa is one of those persons whose name will be on that list, regardless what. But again, Daniel, what I see here is that it's going to be a difficult thing because he comes from the opposition bloc. The opposition bloc. And when I spoke of surprises, Diamond, one thing that's going to happen is that
Who
don't be
comes from the
surprised.
opposition? Who comes from the opposition?
Speaker Fonati Kofa
He's from the
of the
ruling
CDC.
party. He's from the ruling party. They've not yet lost the
Okay.
election. He's from the ruling CDC.
Okay, sorry. Okay, let me make that correction. So, but I was basically speaking in the case of a win for the Unity Party, right?
Okay.
In the case of a win for the Unity Party, it's going to be a difficult thing for him because he's going to be that opposition lawmaker who has served as deputy speaker and then wanting to be a speaker, and the lobbying and all of those things that goes on there at the level of the legislature is a whole different thing all by itself. And it's easier for you to make your way through. It's easier to make your way through as a not opposition but as a ruling party lawmaker wanting to go to the speakership. It's easier as
Yeke
compared to you
Koluba?
being an opposition.
Yeke Koluba for speaker?
Well,
What
well,
house would that be?
I don't see Representative Yeke Toluba, wanting to go to that position. I don't see that, Diamond. I don't see that because Representative Yeke Toluba is more of the radical person. He's he's he doesn't have that diplomatic spirit. That diplomatic posture is not there. So having a Yeke Toluba even contesting for speakership, leads to talk about becoming the Speaker of the House of Representatives. Simon, ah,
Wouldn't that
it's,
be
it's, it's,
a very, very interesting house if you have a speaker in Honorable Yeke Koluba?
the House is going to be a battleground because I see a kind of speaker who's going to tell you use the I don't want to use the words, but use inventors or individuals who do not agree with his perspective on things, and he may want to get it done, the hard way, the military way. He's not going to be interested in that diplomatic posture like former speaker. Okay, let's say Speaker Bova Chima would say. You have to be decorous. Decorous.
Decorous.
No, he's not going to be that kind of decorous. No, he's going to
My
be
man,
that speaker.
I gotta let you
Shoot
go.
the shot, and
I,
it's just that way.
I gotta let you go. But that's food for thought, though. Having a house speaker in Yeke Koluba, what sort of house would that be? And what sort of rules, regulations, and how would other lawmakers, conduct themselves under his
How
gavel?
would they even
But
conduct
that's far
themselves,
from that.
Diamond?
Yeah.
How would they even conduct themselves? What way a Yeke Koluba tell another lawmaker who is trying to disrupt a session for the day? What will he say to
My
that
man,
person?
I gotta go.
That house
I
is going
gotta
to be
let
a
you go,
battleground.
Nelson. So my
But
yellow
as you see,
shirt
Diamond,
partner.
the security presence has reduced a bit, and probably because they've received some level of techniques or what have you. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much to Nelson and his team there reporting live from around the headquarters of the National Elections Commission, doing a great piece of job for us. The speakership position, that race is going to be an interesting one. You have folks like Musa Hassan Belete throwing his hat in the race. You have the deputy speaker, Fanati Kofa, throwing his hat in the race. You might just see a Yeke Koluba throwing his hat in the race as well, and others, including Priscilla Cooper, who just won District Number 5, throwing her hat in the race to be Speaker of the 55th Legislature. But when it comes to the presidency of the Republic of Liberia, that is far from being decided. Nelson Colette led the team there at the National Elections Commission. From Spoon House here in Congo Town, my name is Diamond Slanger. On behalf of the entire team, we'd love to bid you farewell. Thank you so much for watching. Up next is Spoon News Live. We'll be back again tomorrow to bring you updates from the National Elections Commission. Yellow Shirt Nelson, I'm not a magician, Nelson. Thank you to you and your team. Bye-bye.
Thanks a lot to you, Diamond. Thanks a lot to you. Yeah.
All right. So, folks,
Yes.